the Mississippi River, they call her the Crescent City. Old New Orleans, retaining a lot of the flavor and passion of the past, but able to blend the bustling present and promise of the future with its personality. Not far from the levee, there's the French Quarter, Bourbon Street, and since 1935, New Year's holiday crowds in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl game have gorged themselves on jazz, seafood, and fun, shouting themselves hoarse in support of their favorite teams. Every year you think the decibel count has reached an all-time level, but every year you come back and it's always higher. New Orleans is also the location of one of the architectural marvels of the world, the massive Superdome with a roof spanning more than 9 acres. And inside today, you talk about noise, my goodness, it's just going to be thundering and roaring. The green of Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, and the red and black of Georgia. And ABC Sports presents the #1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs against #7 ranked Notre Dame. A man named Dooley will coach the Georgia Bulldogs against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame today. And Dan Devine will coach his final game as the head football coach at the University of Notre Dame. Georgia and Notre Dame never met before in football. There isn't a seat available. It's been the hardest ticket to find anywhere in this part of the country. More than 75,000 people are here, including the President of the United States, for this ball game today that will have so much to do with which team claims the national championship in 1980 in college football. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer with Chevette Monza Citation and the new Monte Carlo Chevys up ahead for 1981. By Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by RCA's Color Track, getting the color right is what Color Track is all about. Hello, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, and from all of us at ABC Sports, a very happy wish for a successful and prosperous new year in 1981. And settle back now for an afternoon of fun in college football as these two teams, Georgia and Notre Dame, square off. And for the 4th time in the last 7 years, the Sugar Bowl game will have a bearing on which team is #1 when it's all done. Georgia Bulldogs come in 11-0, ranked #1. Fighting Irish 9-1-1, and they are ranked 7th and 8th in the major polls. This will be the 5th time that Notre Dame has gone into a postseason football game against a top-ranked team, #1. And 4 of the 5 times, the Fighting Irish have won the football game. This is really the first time that Georgia's ever had a chance to finish #1 when all the games were played. Second appearance in the Sugar Bowl for the Fighting Irish. They came here in 1973, beat Alabama 24-23 in a ball game I think we will always remember. The University of Notre Dame, as much as any school in the country, is truly a national university. The football roster reflects 21 different states, and here in New Orleans you find a big Subway alumni that can make this kind of noise on Bourbon Street. University of Georgia is the Bulldog. He's a classic, purebred, white English Bulldog, and they call him Ugga. This is Ugga 3, going to his 5th bowl game today. And the Bulldog has triggered a cheer that is fast becoming a saying among the Georgia faithful, and it goes like this. How about them dogs? It's easy to say, just roar and lay back your head and say, how about them dogs? I even learned how to say it. An 18-year-old native son has become the biggest Bulldog this year, and maybe that's not the right word. Maybe we ought to call him a horse. His name is Herschel Walker. He's a running back, and this is what he has accomplished in his freshman year at the University of Georgia. 1,616 yards rushing, an NCAA freshman record, a Southeastern Conference freshman record, a Georgia record. He finished third in Heisman voting, and for the first time, a freshman consensus All-American. Football writers prior to this had never named a freshman to their All-American team, but Herschel Walker is the man who finally broke through that barrier. Herschel is a big fella, standing about 6'2" and weighing close to 220 pounds. He chose to stay at home and go to school at the University of Georgia. He comes from a small town of Wrightsville, which is about 98 miles south of the campus of the University of Georgia, with a population around 4,000 or so. Played at a small high school, Class A, and grew up in this White House at the end of the road. Number 34. They questioned whether or not he could come from Class A high school to college ball and make it. Well, he has made it big.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane! No, it's Superman. I love you, Superman. Do it to them, Superman. We love you, Superman. Superman. I love you, Superman. Do it to them, Superman. I love it, Superman.
Herschel Walker, you'll see him a lot today. We all need a little luck, I guess, in about everything that we do. But to win 11 consecutive football games in this era, you better have some luck. And sometimes a small miracle doesn't hurt. For example, the Georgia Bulldogs got a lot of luck in their opening game against Tennessee. Volunteers fumbled away a scoring opportunity late in the game, and Georgia hung on to win 16-15. But it was in the Florida game that the miracle truly arrived, and it was engineered by a young man named Buck Bellew, a junior quarterback from Valdosta, Georgia. And Buck Bellew will be a very important figure on the football field today. The Georgia quarterback against the Florida Gators was looking at disaster, square in the eye. But this rangy, blue-eyed, curly-headed kid did this. With 63 seconds to play, 92 yards away from the goal line, Florida leading 21-20, he took the snap and went back into the end zone. He eluded a Florida man. Then he spotted a friendly shirt. Lindsey Scott, wide receiver. Scott found some daylight, racing down the sidelines. Even his coach, Vince Dooley, was trying to keep up with him to cheer. And Scott found the end zone, and the miracle had happened for the Georgia Bulldogs as they defeated Florida by a score of 26-21. It is a play that will live forever in Georgia football history. And without it, they wouldn't be here today playing for a national championship. Buck Bellew and Lindsey Scott, the two youngsters who did it. As I mentioned earlier, the President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, native Georgian, is in among the crowd today to see the ball game with Mrs. Carter, Rosalind, sitting by him. And the Georgia band now in Hail to the Chief.
out Bourbon Street. I was very lucky.
Yeah, you don't have any scars. You must be all right. I think the two words amongst all of the literature you've compiled in researching these two teams, Frank, were finesse for Georgia, muscle by Notre Dame.
Very definitely. Georgia are basing their offensive and defensive plans on the assumption that they must use their speed and quickness and make the big play. And I'm not speaking about just offensively. They have Scott Warner, All-American defensive halfback that leads the nation in punt returns. He leads the nation in yardage returned on intercepted passes. Georgia must strike quickly if they're to win today.
Buck Bellew, Georgia quarterback, got to be looking for the short pass route.
Very definitely, Keith. They're going to throw a lot on first down and second down, and they're going to use Herschel Walker, number 34, in a new role. He would be a pass receiver trying to devise methods to get the ball to him where he can use his speed outside of the powerful Notre Dame defense.
Been questions all week, in fact over 2 weeks, as to which man would start at quarterback for the Fighting Irish. The freshman Blair Keel, who made most of the starts, or the senior Mike Curry, who made the initial start of the year.
Well, being in the 12th game of the season and not knowing who your quarterback is not a good situation, because your team can possibly take sides, and that would be detrimental to Notre Dame's cause. But I believe that coaches will turn normally to their senior experience, and that, of course, is Mike Curry. And he had a great game against Southern California in the second half. He gave them the spark that they needed, and I think that will have the effect on this team today.
Notre Dame has been here a long time, coming here to train because of the cold weather up in South Bend. Georgia and Notre Dame both practice their teams now, first offense against first defense, and you normally don't do that.
No, you don't. But both coaches realize the importance of this game, Keith, and they don't want to take any chances that they have lost the timing, the execution that they had during the season. Scrimmaging is the only way that they can regain it, and they said, both told me, that their players responded like thoroughbreds, and they're ready for this great game.
As we noted, Dan Devine is coaching his last game as the football coach at Notre Dame. Yesterday, I talked with him about the end of the regular season and this one. Well, Coach Dan Devine, following your one loss to Southern California, you made the comment in the aftermath of gloom that you were thankful that this team had one more game to play. Is the team ready to play this final game?
Yes, I really think so, Keith. I'd be the first to admit that training in New Orleans isn't like being in South Bend or Athens, Georgia. But under the circumstances, I think our team is very ready. I'm still very thankful that we have this game, and we're eagerly looking forward to playing Georgia.
A lot of us read Georgia as somewhat of a total team. They've got all the tools, and some of us feel that perhaps your greatest strength lies in your defense. So that means your defense has got to be ready to defend Bellew the pass and Walker the run.
That's right, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, Keith, because I think it's an element of the game that a lot of people around the country don't realize, that Georgia is not just Herschel Walker. Now, we all know that Herschel's a fantastic back, but Buck Bellew is a great passer. They got the best punt return guy in the country. Their defense is very adequate. They've shut out 3 teams, and Coach Dooley calls this a total ball club. I'm not sure that we're quite that total. We've got to get a splendid effort out of all of our people, our offense, our defense, and our special teams in order to stay in this ball game. If we play well in those 3 aspects, and they play well in those 3 aspects, I kind of feel like we're going to win the game. I don't mean to be optimistic and get drummed out of the coaching profession, but I feel like we have to play well in all 3 areas, Keith.
All right, some comments from late yesterday with Coach Dan Devine as he sends his Fighting Irish, ranked number 7, out against the Georgia Bulldogs, ranked number 1. And we are ready to go as Notre Dame will receive the football and Georgia will kick it off. And Jim Stone, number 42, and Ty Barber, number 12, are the deep men. Jimmy Stone is playing in his final game for the Fighting Irish. He's a senior out of Seattle. He's had a very fine year. Kicking off for Georgia will be a young man who has put his name in the Bulldog record book. His name is Rex Robinson, and he might very well, as a place kicker, be a most important figure for Georgia before this day is done. It was his 57-yard field goal that won the game against South Carolina. All of the officials are out of the Southwest Conference, and the game is on in the Sugar Bowl. The Irish let it go. Stone catches it as the ball threatened to bounce back outside of the end zone, and Jimmy Stone made a heads-up play. Mike Curry, we expect to start at quarterback for Notre Dame. We'll check it as soon as they're lined up. John Sweeney, the fullback. Pete Holohan is the wide receiver. receiver, big guy, and Tony Hunter, the big play man for the Irish. And as you saw, it will be Carter. Bill Carter will be at the running back. And it is Blair Keel that's who gets the call. Blair Keel, the freshman, comes out. Blair Keel is the man that Dan Devine says seems to get him out of trouble. So he indicates Mike Corey is the man he may look to. And Keel will go long, throws it as far as he can for Tony Hunter, and he can't come down with it. Mike Fisher just barely broke it up. Tony Hunter was gone. Keel just simply didn't throw the ball far enough. Frankly, if he had thrown it another 2 feet, it's touchdown.
It definitely was, Keith. You can see Hunter gets in behind Fisher, number 31, and the ball goes right through Hunter's hands.
Fisher really had very little to do with it, except he might have shielded his vision a bit. But Notre Dame now does exactly what they said they would do, go for the big one on the first play. They go to the I formation now, and Keel will go back and throw it again. He swings this one out to Phil Carter, and Carter gets 2 big blocks to get around the corner, and he is caught. Only one man had a real good chance to get him coming down the sidelines as number 22 goes for 22. It was Tom Thayer that really got him around the corner.
What a beautiful executed play. Drop back screen, and we're going to watch the right guard Thayer and the center 57 Scully, All-American, make the key blocks right there, both of them. And Carter turns up and makes a nice gain on the second play of the game.
And Notre Dame is operating with a first down at their own 42. First and 10 for the Irish. It's Carter over the left side. Dives it up to the 44. He picked up 2 yards. And the Fighting Irish front now. Mike Shiner at tackle. He is 250 pounds. Randy Ellis, a 251-pounder. John Scully, 255 at center. Thayer, 258 at guard. Was Derrick, 260 at tackle, 6'9". And the tight end, Mazpak at 227. It's a very big football team. Second down and 8 at the Notre Dame 44. Georgia with a 6-man front. Keel on the roll, has help. Caught from behind, dropped at the 46. Eddie Weaver, the nose guard, was hunting the quarterback and found him. Have a look at number 61 doing his thing.
Eddie Weaver is very strong. He only stands 6 feet tall, but he weighs 270 pounds. He has quickness and speed, as you can witness right here as he closes to the football and makes the tackle on quarterback Keel, number 5, right there. Outstanding play by Weaver.
It is third down from just outside the 45, and they need about 7 yards. Keel straight back, looks for Hunter, goes the other way, and the pass is caught by Mazpak, the tight end, down at the Georgia 38, and the freshman quarterback threw a bullet for 16 yards. The defensive alignment for the Georgia Bulldogs: Robert Miles, Jimmy Payne, Eddie Weaver, Tim Crow, and Pat McShay. Up front in the trenches, Ross Taylor, linebackers, and the secondary, Werner, Fisher, Welton, and Hip. It was Hip that made the tackle that kept Carver from breaking it loose. As Carter looked like he was gone down the sideline. First down for the Irish, Georgia 38. Holohan in motion. Keel gives the ball to Phil Carter. Carter is hit. May not have reached the line of scrimmage. Georgia's going to have to gamble on defense, going to have to do some studying. Jimmy Payne made the tackle. President Carter and Mrs. Carter and Amy watching.
Keith, to enlarge on what you said about Weaver and also Payne, they're going to move to the tight end side, feeling that Notre Dame likes to run in that way and get the best defensive players they can to that side.
Second down, about 10.5 yards, and Keel comes outside. Plenty of time to throw it. It is caught, but it was caught after it was almost intercepted. Hunter came up with the ball. Werner made a try for it, and he went right through him.
Watch the execution by Tony Hunter, number 25, the very gifted athlete. Watch him come back for the ball. Otherwise, Warner, number 19, would have had the interception. Just an excellent play by Tony Hunter, number 25.
Dick Beard is in at tight end now for the Fighting Irish. Mazpak is out. The football is at the Georgia 30. That was a pickup of about 8.5 yards. They've got to go to the 28. They need 2 here on 3rd down. They give it to Carter, the tailback. Carter picks his hole. Penalty flag is thrown to the umpire. The umpire, standing in the short area of the defensive secondary, back of the linebackers, whipped it in there, and it looks like it may be against the Irish. It is illegal use of hands. The referee, Clint Fuller, that's a 5-yard penalty. It is not holding, it is pushing.
Well, that's a tough place to get a call, defensive call.
Rules been changed a little bit this year so that you offensive linemen have a little more use of their hands. But
on number 61, Weaver, let's see Thayer, number 64. He cannot use his hands once the defensive man has gotten parallel with him. He can use his hands while the defensive man is in front of him only. So it's a good call. 5-yard penalty.
And it's 3rd down and 8. At about 7. 3rd down and about 7 with double wide at the top of the picture for Notre Dame. Heel gives it to the tailback Carter. Carter is caught by the outside linebacker and brought down short of the 1st down, and it brings up 4th down, and Harry Oliver comes into the ball game. Nate Taylor, number 47, made the play for Georgia.
Nate Taylor, number 47, strangely enough, was a walk-on. As a freshman, he still got a scholarship and led the team in tackles as he did this year. He moves over, closes, and assists in the tackle to stop Carter short of the 1st down.
Condini will hold for Harry Oliver, the left-footed kicker out of Cincinnati. He's 2 for 2 from 50 yards or more. This is from 50 exactly. He's got plenty of leg on it. It's good. A 50-yard field goal for the Fighting Irish in their first offensive possession, and they take the lead 3-0 at 10 minutes and 41 to play in the first quarter, and we come back. Georgia will have the ball. The Fighting Irish a 3-0 lead in their first possession. Georgia's about to get the ball for the first time. That's Scott Werner and Chuck Jones are the deep men with Mike Johnson to kick it off for Notre Dame. Mike is a sophomore out of Rochester, New York, and he hits it. And he hangs it up there. And it's going to be returned by Werner. Scott Werner splits him and gets it out to the 21. The starting backfield for Georgia, Buck Ballou from Valdosta. We talked about him. Jimmy Womack, birthday today for Jimmy, the fullback. Herschel Walker, well known now. Amp Arnold will not start the ball game. Chuck Jones should be in there at the flanker spot, and Lindsey Scott is the wide receiver. I'd also say that Tim Huffman started at guard for the Fighting Irish in their first series. Here's Georgia now, first possession of the ball game, down 3-0, 1st down at their own 21. Ballou gives it on a little delay to Herschel Walker, and Walker is out to the 24 for 3 yards before Scott Zedek and Pat Kramer bring him down. The offensive line, Jeff Harper, a 240-pound tackle. Jim Blakewood, a 230-pound guard for Georgia. Wayne Radloff at center, 230. Tim Morrison, big guard, 260. Alongside of him, another 260-pounder, Nat Hudson at tackle. And Norris Brown, the tight end, 215 pounds. 2nd down and 7 for the Bulldogs. And they turn, give it to Walker. Walker trying to get outside. Does get outside. Penalty flag down. Look out for this one. Herschel Walker got it across the 30 and close to a 1st down. But look out for the penalty flag on that kind of a play on a sweep. It is easy to clip. Also easy to hold. Here it is. Holding. Offense. Clint Fuller heads the officials team, all of them out of the Southwest Conference. Lewis Shuffle, Red Shaw, Fuller and Shaw their last game. They retire after this one. Mike Wetzel, Ron Underwood, and Jim Evans. It's a good team of officials.
Keith, and the penalty that will be assessed against Georgia will be 15 yards, 10 yards, half the distance to the goal line. but it's a big penalty, major penalty. Puts Georgia in a real hole now.
Carney Norris is into the lineup at tailback, replacing Walker for the moment. Of course, they may move Walker out, put him in a different position. Chuck Jones is going in. Amp Arnold, who had gone in on the last play. Arnold has had a knee problem, hurt it in the Florida game, and really hadn't had much work. And Vince Dooley a little fearful that Amp might not be on top of his game.
They'll miss him, too, because he is their big playmaker, one of their big playmakers.
Second down now. Georgia's all the way back at its 13-yard line. They've got to go to the 31 to get the first down. And here's the pitch to Carney Norris out of the tailback. He's got a yard up to about the 14, and he is the other New Year's baby. Happy birthday to Carney. So Womack and Norris are both observing their birthdays playing in the Sugar Bowl. Ball is up around the 14. The Irish defensive unit, Hankard, Kramer, Gramke, Zedek. They're working on Herschel Walker on the sidelines right now, if he's injured. The linebackers you saw there for Notre Dame, and the defensive secondary reflected there. It is third down and long. Pressure's on Ballou. Can't get away. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Joe Rudzinski, number 51. Rudzinski got him back at the 6.
One of the things that the Notre Dame coaches said, they're going to try to intimidate Buck Ballou by blitzing the linebackers and maybe even the strong safety to try to give him the bad play and discourage him.
He'd have been able to get away from Rudzinski. He had a whole lot of room outside, though, and Rudzinski stayed with him and got him. Malkowitz punts it out of there for Georgia, and it is fielded by Krim. John Krim takes it back up on the 43 and brings it back down to about the 41. It was a 36-yard punt, 2-yard return. Notre Dame has the football first down on the Georgia into the field. Herschel Walker a little bit. We don't know exactly what for, but he seems to be all right now. In the meantime, the Georgia defense got to muscle it up here against the Fighting Irish. Ball just outside the Georgia 41. First down for Notre Dame, and Keel is still the quarterback. Georgia almost jumped. Player got back in time. Phil Carter sweeps it off the left side, and Carter takes it down to about the 37 of Georgia, where Robert Miles, the defensive end, leads the defensive play. Carter now in the game, 4 carries, 10 yards. That's what he did right there on the season.
He's a very fine football player, a slashing type runner that can turn just a short yardage into a very nice game.
Second down and a little more than 5. Carter again hit behind the line of scrimmage, but wiggles his way back through the line of scrimmage. It was Frank Ross, number 48, a senior from Greenville, South Carolina, who penetrated and took away the quickness of Carter with a contact. The fullbacks for the Irish, Sweeney and Buchanan, are bringing in the plays, and right now John Sweeney, number 33, has come in with 35, Buchanan going out. Blair Keel and his numbers for the year. You see 0 touchdowns. Look at Georgia stunning, blitzing, crashing, trying to get the pressure on. And the pass is thrown and completed by the freshman quarterback. Lee Keel was in the grasp of number 41, Pat McShay, defensive end, and he just muscled it downfield to the tight end, Maztak.
You can see that Keel has some mobility. 41, McShay nearly makes the stop right here, but Keel turns and throws, and Maztak, who has tremendous hands, makes the reception for the first down.
Oh, Blair's strong, isn't he?
Yes, he is. 200 pounds, 6 foot tall.
It's the first down at the Georgia 30. Double wide, top of the screen, new offensive set for the Irish for this ball game. Give it off to the tailback, Phil Carter, the sophomore from Tacoma. Hits down to near the 27. That's Tacoma, Washington. The muscle of Notre Dame. They are very big along the front. 250, 265, 255, 258, 260. And it forces Georgia to gamble on defense.
To enlarge on what Keith said, Georgia will have to move their men around into the gaps so that their defensive men will not be lined up head on the big Notre Dame offensive linemen.
Second down, 7. Carter. Oh, did he take a wallop? He lost the... Did he lose the football?
his life.
Tim Crow was coming, sophomore from Stone Mountain, and watch this hit.
Right there, Tim Crow plays left defensive tackle. He was shooting the gap. In effect, he was slanting to the tight end, which is what Georgia's plans are, and he came free into the backfield.
Folks, I'll tell you right now, Phil Carter is one tough fella, but he's still in there. It is 3rd down and 7. Too much time, I think.
They're definitely a big mistake for the Notre Dame football team, Keith.
Well, there was a penalty that stopped them last time, and they settled for 3.
What happened is that Georgia had the blitz, moved in with their ends, single coverage, and Keel tried to change the play, go to a 101 pattern to Hunter, but time caught him.
Irk Russell, is the fellow who is the defensive coordinator for Georgia, and he's done all kinds of things with his defensive unit in getting ready for this ball game.
He's been with Dooley for all 17 years at Georgia.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 12. Keel throws it over the middle, and the pass is just tipped away. Robert Miles, the defensive end, had dropped off to cover Mastak, the tight end, and just slipped it away.
We must remember that Mastak missed most of the season. He's a great receiver. He gives an added dimension, but Miles comes in front of him. It's the last instant and deflects the ball. A big play that forces Notre Dame into the field goal situation.
Oliver has hit a 50-yarder to give the Irish a 3-0 lead with 5.5 minutes to play. This one is a 48-yarder. He is 4 out of 6 from this distance. It is blocked. Number 14. It looked like came flying in. And the ball comes rolling back across midfield. And that's got to fire up the Georgia Bulldogs. It was number 14 who made the play for Georgia. Terry Hogue, a defensive back, a freshman out of Huntsville, Texas, and he is the only Texan on the Georgia team. And look at this.
Watch him come in front and get his hands up in the air, and that's what blocked the kick. He had a little bit of a gap inside the offensive end, which is a mistake on Notre Dame's part. You shouldn't let him come inside like that.
And Georgia has the ball at the Irish 49. 1st down. Bulldogs for the first time today on the Notre Dame side of the field with Arnold in motion. Give the ball to Herschel Walker. Walker gets outside a Hankard, and Walker runs it inside the 45 to the 43 before Tom Gibbons.
Let's watch the block again. Hogue, number 14, goes right over the top. Keith, it looked to me like he might have put his feet on the back of one of the Georgia linemen, as Bob Crable did when he blocked the field goal to preserve their victory against Michigan a couple of years ago.
Right.
In any event, it was a great play.
Betcha. Walker picked up 7 on that carry. 2nd down and 3. Football is at the 43 of Notre Dame. And it's Walker again. And Herschel again gets around Hankard. And he's got a 1st down. And he put away a photographer as he went into the crowd.
Let's watch the block again. It appears to me that
no, that's a Notre Dame man he's going to step on.
he might have stepped on a Notre Dame back of the offensive lineman, came over the top. Number 14, look how high he is. That's just a sensational effort. He really wanted it. That's what we'd say to him. He wanted it.
1st down for the Georgia Bulldogs at the 36 of Notre Dame. They've got Arnold in motion. He's coming towards Scott. Double wide left. And Ballou still got the ball. He wants to throw it. Goes over the middle into a crowd, and he's lucky it wasn't picked off. Very fortunate because he threw it right into a crowd.
Gibbons, the safety man, broke in front and had his hands on the ball. Could have intercepted it, as Keith said. There's the Notre Dame defensive stats for the year. You can see how effective they have been. 8th in the rushing defense, 4th in total defense, and 6th in scoring defense, allowing only 3 touchdowns in the last 7 games.
2nd down and 10 for Georgia. They threw it on 1st down. Ballou gives it to Walker. Herschel running inside. Goes across the 30. Pulls his way to the 27. His inside running has improved tremendously throughout the season.
I think that we all agree with that. Keith saw him in early November. I saw him in the middle of November, and he has improved. He's worked hard on it. He told me earlier that he knew that this was the one weakness he had of not being able to find the blockage, Keith, but on that particular play, he waited patiently and saw the block and made a nice run.
He weighs about 220 pounds. He's got big, strong legs. Ronnie Stewart in at fullback now, replacing Womack for Georgia. It's Walker again. Herschel gets to a block, and he turns it upfield. And he's got a first down for Georgia at the Irish 20. And he got a big block from Jim Blakewood, the left guard, to get him around the corner.
Blakewood, number 77, is their pulling guard on the sweep. And as Keith said, he's made the key block. But let me just add this. Of all of the great running ability, as we see his rushing stats during the season, and I want to continue with this, as all this yardage we mounted up, he has only fumbled one time. As a freshman, that's the most remarkable thing I can remember. Lost one fumble in the ninth game of the season against Florida.
Herschel again, into the stack. Doesn't get much that time. Too much muscle there. He gets 1 yard.
Notre Dame defense is very, very tough and stiff on this part of the field. They use their corners and their safety to blitz, trying to force Georgia to go to the air if they want to score.
Time remaining, you see there. First quarter with the Irish leading by a score of 3-0. Second down and 9. And it's Walker looking for a hole inside. Nothing there. Stood up and then decked by Zedek. So Backman had him, stood him up, and then Zedek put him down.
Zedek, number 70, All-American, a senior, a fifth-year senior that knows how to recognize the play. Watch him. As soon as he sees the play, he comes back and assists number 46, the backman with the tackle to stop Herschel Walker on a short gain.
Third down and 9. Ballou on third down to throw. No chance. No chance. Number 23, Dewerson, was coming on the play, looped to the outside, and coming right behind Dewerson was Hankard, and Hankard got him.
John Hankard is a senior, number 47, just an outstanding football player, a high level of performance as he has started for 3 years, the defensive end for Notre Dame.
Rex Robinson is in the ball game. The story on his season in field goals, you can see. He is a career scoring leader in field goals in the Southeastern Conference. It's a 46-yard attempt. Everything is good. Plenty of leg. It's a tie ball game. So Rex Robinson, 6 out of 9 from that distance this year, pulls Georgia even with Notre Dame. The picture coming from the Goodyear Blimp America with Captain Tim Townley-Wren, graduate of Tulane here in New Orleans at the controls. Up there with him, cameraman Billy Sullivan and Lee Burton, our technician. It took them 14 hours to go 356 miles from Houston to New Orleans to be with us today. And it's a gorgeous day outside. Oh, just clear as it can be. Well, we're in the house.
And in this building, a marvelous engineering feat.
Yes, it is. Here's the kickoff by Robinson. 50-yard field goal by Oliver and a 46-yard field goal by Robinson. The ball's bouncing around inside the 5-yard line. It was a mistake by Notre Dame. Georgia's after it, and Georgia's got the ball. Georgia's got the ball. Robinson hung the football a mile high, and the Notre Dame backs just ran away from it. They knew they didn't have a chance to return the football, and they thought it would bounce into the end zone, but it did not. Like I said at the very beginning today, you got to have a little luck. Bob Kelly from Savannah came down the field and recovered it.
I cannot believe, I've never seen anything like it. The Notre Dame backs thought the ball was going across the goal line. It didn't. And Stone, number 42, recognizing this, came back but couldn't get the ball, and Georgia recovered on the 2-yard line.
And it's first and goal to go for Georgia, and would you believe it? With a minute and 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. The ball is just outside the 1. It'll be officially a 2-yard play. The crowd is roaring. Ballou, a quarterback sneak. Maybe half of it. That is startling. But obviously the kick was a mile high in the air. You see Georgia's takeaways were most pronounced, led the nation this year. And Stone and Barber both ran away from the ball thinking it's in the end zone.
In all of my years, I've never seen that. I've seen him catch it on the 1 and fair catch it and all types of plays, but not leave it in there on the 1-yard line.
Second down and goal to go for the Bulldogs at the Irish 1. Got it, Walker. Touchdown.
As we see it again, Walker is going right behind all Southeastern Conference Morrison number 76, all Southeastern Conference Hudson number 66, right behind him for the touchdown.
Extra point try by Robinson. He's made 101 in a row. He missed the first one as a freshman, has not missed since. He's got 102. So with 1 minute and 4 seconds to play in the first quarter, the Georgia Bulldogs take advantage of opportunity and take a 10-3 lead over Notre Dame. The Superdome is mighty happy about the turn of events. It's a high kickoff, and I can't stress that enough. That ball was a mile in the air. And it's either Alphonse Gaston, been suggested they might have lost it in the lights. One maybe, I can't believe two would lose it in the lights. They thought it was in the end zone and didn't go in. Here's Robinson, he puts another one up in the rafters, but this one carries to the end zone, and they're going to come out with it. Jim Stone, and he's got some room. He comes all the way to the 29, close to the 30, before Bob Kelly, who recovered the kickoff a moment ago, makes the tackle. Well, the Hula Bowl is coming up on January 10 from Aloha Stadium in Honolulu. Oh, the trade winds will be blowing, and we've got all kinds of folks. Several people from these two teams are going to be there. I know Scott Zedek is going. Mark Herman's going to lead at quarterback for the East. We'll have Samoa at quarterback for the West. He's from Washington State. He's going home to play football. Two outstanding collections of All-Americans and stars. And here goes Keel a mile downfield. Threw it for Tony Hunter. And Hunter was way behind this play. If that ball had been thrown on their first bomb attempt that far, they'd have had a touchdown.
Very good point, Keith, because on this particular play, Fisher was ready for the bomb and had backed up very deep and had good position on Hunter.
So we've got 51 seconds to play in the first quarter. Keel is now 4 out of 7 for 52 yards in passing. It is second down and 10 for Notre Dame. The ball is just short of the 30. Georgia leading 10-3. Gets away and gets outside to about the 36. Pat McShay, a senior out of Anderson, South Carolina, almost got him. McShay had his hands on him a while ago, and he still got a pass off and completed it.
The mobility of a quarterback is so important. McShay is a very fine football player, one of Georgia's best. They'd like to have him rushing the passer twice so far. Keel has escaped and made a gain, one completed pass, and a nice gain on the run.
Well, you got a guy named Dooley coaching the opposition and a fellow named McShay trying to tear your quarterback's head off here. The Irish are after the Irish. It is third down at about 3.5 as Keel goes back. Blair's in a little trouble this time, and McShay finally got it. Pat finally got it on his third try.
Oh, they're excited. Pat McShay, coaches tell me, an ideal type football player. You'll find a place for him on your football team. He does the right thing at the right time, which was evidenced on that last play, the sack of Keel.
And it's fourth down, a little more than 10, and Keel will punt for the Irish. First punt of the ball game by Keel. Averages a little better than 40. Has no pressure. It's a high-hanging knuckle ball. Scott Werner, who can break that big play on you, brings it back and gives Georgia pretty good field position. He's out around the 38-yard line. It was a 41-yard punt, and Keel hung it up there, 3.6 seconds.
And the University of Georgia, as we said earlier, leads the nation in punt returns. Scott Werner, just outstanding courage. He wants to catch the ball, and they have a new wrinkle that they're using on their punt return that's helped them all year long. From the 38, the Bulldogs, with 5 seconds to go in the first quarter, leading 10-3. Ballou pitches it to Walker. Herschel runs right over the top of a penalty flag that was thrown.
And let's see what that's about as the quarter has come to a close. So while they talk about the penalty, we will take this timeout. After quarter number 1, Georgia 10 and Notre Dame 3. The 5-yard offside penalty against Notre Dame, the defensive team, will extend the first quarter. So it's an untimed play, which will close out the first quarter. So this one goes into the book in number 1. It is first down and 5, Georgia, from the 43. Ballou wants to go deep with it. He does. He's got a man, and it goes right through his hand. Norris Brown, the end was opened, and the ball went right through his hand.
Was a sensational throw from Ballou. It's a fake to the right, which holds the defensive right halfback Krim just momentarily. Brown is a tight end, and I'm sure that Krim didn't think that he could run as fast. He has a 10-flat hunt speed. Watch the ball go right through his hands. Would have been a sure touchdown.
Oh, Norris, are you going to remember that one? Now the quarter is officially over, and there are the numbers.
First down, Notre Dame 3, Georgia 2. Both teams have moved the ball. Georgia is the surprise in the passing with 0. Notre Dame is the surprise with 52 yards passing.
Walker has picked up 34 yards in the first quarter. Tonight, a special feature here on ABC at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 9:30 Pacific, Invasion. It's an exciting program. We'll tell you more about it as time allows. Meantime, Georgia on second down and 5 from the 43. Gives the ball to Walker, and Walker can't find any room in the middle. Coming back from his defensive end position, John Hankard, the primary tackler.
Walker on the draw play as we watch the Georgia defensive coach flash in the plays from Coach Dooley. But Walker had no chance on that play. Hankard was right there.
It'll be third down and 5 from the 43 of Georgia. Norris Brown had it in his hands and let it go. And he was wide open for a touchdown. Ballou on a roll. Gets pretty good protection, but he's using too much time. He has nobody to throw it to. He's hit on the sideline. Number 98, Pat Kramer, big guy out of Colton, Washington, sort of got there a little late along with Gramke, but they were inbounds when contact was made. And so it brings up a fourth down. And Malkowitz is in the punt for Georgia. Mark Malkowitz. Is a dandy. Oh, that is a howitzer over the head of the Notre Dame people, and this one does go into the end zone. I think that's what they thought earlier, except that one didn't. But that was a honey of a punt, 59 yards, and according to Mike Swanson's stopwatch, was in the air 4.2 seconds. That's a long hang time. Season premiere of the Pro Bowlers Tour comes up live from Anaheim, California, except on the West Coast, where it'll be seen in its regular time period of 4 Pacific time. January 10, Pro Bowlers Tour, one of the most successful sports programs in the history of television. First down for Notre Dame from their own 20. Georgia leading 10-3 with 14:11 to go in the first half. Derek Keel turns, gives the ball to his fullback. Ball get loose. Georgia has the ball. Georgia man comes out of the bottom of the stack with the ball. Chris Welton, the rover. He saw it come loose from the fullback, dove in there, and came up with it.
Young Chris Welton is a finance major, had a 4-point average during this past football season when Georgia was gaining the #1 status. Here we see Sweeney, the fullback, who doesn't carry the ball very often. He's hit hard by the linebacker right in the hole, and the ball is on the ground. You can see it, and number 10 comes in and makes the play.
And here goes Herschel Walker to the 15. He's down to the 10 and out of bounds, just short of the 10. Georgia recovering the kickoff on the Irish 2, scored the touchdown, and now Notre Dame's turned it over out at their 22, and the Bulldogs have it first down just short of the 10. Walker now on 10 carries with 46 yards.
And that could have been one of his best because he was hit at the line of scrimmage by Grudensky, number 51. Durson hit him 5 yards down the field. He broke both tackles and went on to the 10-yard line.
Walker lines up, the eye back. Ronnie Stewart in motion. They've got the two blocking fullbacks in there. Buck Bellew on a roll. He's running for the corner. He's down to the 5. He's out of bounds down about the 4, maybe the 3. Johnny Krim saved the touchdown for the Irish.
Just great execution on Bellew's part. The receiver, Brown, was in the end zone but covered. He had only one choice, Bellew did. That was turn up the field, and he did decisively for a big gain instead of a loss or a possible interception.
The ball is just short of the 3. They could conceivably get a first down without scoring, but it'd have to be very close to the goal line. Walker, sweep to the right, good blocking. He's in there. Jimmy Womack, the fullback, number 25, made the block that opened the door for Walker.
Most often from the high formation, when you see the tailback make a good run, number 25 is the fullback. He has to take pride in his work, and he made an outstanding block that allowed Walker to go in for the touchdown.
Rex Robinson for the extra point try. Jim Broadway will hold it. He's got 102 in the record book. He's got 103 in the record book without a miss. And the Georgia Bulldogs, with 13:49 to play in the first half, have taken a 17-3 lead over Notre Dame. And here's the Walker touchdown run. But look for number 25 and the big block here.
The fullback normally makes a roll block on this. He's going to usually takes his shoulder, and he's going to go down and knock up number 19, Krim, right on the ground. As Walker goes in for the touchdown. And we'll be right back after this word.
7 Sugar Bowl game. The Georgia side is roaring. It's quiet on the Notre Dame side of the house. And the reason for it is Georgia has taken a 17-3 lead, as you see the numbers there, on Herschel Walker's second touchdown of the ball game. Jim Stone and Ty Barber, 42 and 12, are deep as Rex Robinson will kick it off for the Bulldogs. Georgia, the only team in Division 1A to make it through the season without a blemish on their record. And Stone's coming out with it. And he was way back there. He was a good 5 yards deep in the end zone. He comes back to about the 27-yard return. Another look at the touchdown.
Well, the pistol area on a play close to the goal line is blocking. Blocking by the line and by the fullback. His number 25 is going to knock Krim, number 19, right back as a knockdown block and allows Walker to just circle the end for the touchdown before Durson, number 23, can come over and make the play.
All right, Mike Curry, senior, Sioux City, Iowa, now at quarterback for Notre Dame. Mike Curry, who started the season against Purdue, had a big day. Showed up for the second time, really, against USC. He's in there now. Give it to Carter. Bill Carter busted over the right side and goes for about 8, maybe 9 yards. He gets it out across the 30.
It's not unusual for a team to add plays and formations in the time they have between the last game of the season and the bowl game. And Notre Dame and Georgia have added some things to this ball game, hoping that they can come up with a surprise and have some big plays.
Ball is at the 30. Second down and about 1.5 yards for a first down. Be a checkoff. Curry took a long time with it, rolls it out. He's a good runner. He's very quick. He's got a first down, turns it upfield, and goes across the 40 to the 42. So I think he did check it off.
And that was the play that the coaches of Notre Dame said was the key for Curry in this ball game. It's a run block option, one receiver, as the Georgia man is hurt.
That's Will Forts, linebacker number 42, down on the field for Georgia.
But to continue with the Notre Dame strategy, they had this play set up for the ball game, and it's supposed to be key for them and hope to move the ball. And we'll be right back in just a minute.
Well, there's a look at the great old city of New Orleans from the Goodyear Blimp America. Mississippi flowing. That's why they call it a crescent city, the way it's shaped around the Big Muddy. And here comes Notre Dame on first down from their own 42. They trail by 14, 17-3 with 12:56 to play in the first half. They send Sweeney, the fullback, in motion, pitch the ball to Jim Stone in at tailback. Stone turns it upfield to the 44. There, Robert Miles, number 83, locks his legs for Georgia. Jim Stone played quite a bit during the middle of the year when Phil Carter was out with a severe thigh bruise and had some big ball games. How about them dogs? Well, they have been a bit of a surprise here in the first half. Of course, Notre Dame has given them opportunity, and they have exercised it.
That's the mark of a good football team.
Second down and 8 from the 44. Corey, quick stand-up pattern. Couldn't find anybody. Turns it upfield. Mike's got some daylight and still going. He's down to the Georgia 40. He's all the way down to the 37. Mike Curry. He gained 22 yards on that canter. He looked for Hunter to the right, but then the middle was wide open, and he took it.
That's just experience, because Hunter was covered on the quick pass, and the one thing the quarterback does is try to go right up the middle to avoid any loss, but Curry has good speed. Watch him break through the arms of some would-be tacklers, and finally Williams, number 9, and hip number 49 bring him to the ground.
That is first down, Notre Dame. The ball is at the Georgia 36. Carter is back in there at tailback for the Irish. Hill's got the ball. Big hole over the right side. Big hole up the middle, and Phil Carter goes to the 20. Oh, did Tom Thayer and Phil Derrick open a hole for him?
Let's watch the blocking from the end zone and watch the offensive guard. Notre Dame says that is the key. Huffman, number 78, weighs 290 pounds. The fullback Sweeney makes a block on Taylor. Ross is blocked by Huffman, and Carter goes right up the middle for the big play.
You never saw the defensive left side of the line at all. They were taken out early as well. So picture-perfect execution. First down for Notre Dame. The ball is at the Georgia 20. Corey looking, can't find anybody, and he's going to lose a yard or so. He was looking for Hunter again on that quick send-up pop play, but Georgia, for the second time, covered it well.
Scott Werner, number 19, was on that halfback covering Hunter, and he played it very smartly because Georgia has very little depth to defend against. Notre Dame's close to the goal line, and he played him close. It would have been a risky play for Curry to throw it, and he didn't.
Second down 11, Georgia 21 for the Irish. Georgia man's offside. Encroachment by an interior lineman, Eddie Weaver of Georgia. Made contact that time.
Watch number 61. He's a little bit overhang. It's just a goal line situation while the quarterback is changing the play on a long count. He wanted to penetrate. He wanted to break the seam. That happened as we listen to Clint Fuller.
Illegal procedure. Defense.
A little bit of difference there between offside and encroachment.
And another thing, instead of 2nd and 10, they have 2nd and 5, and they can go back to their regular game of power if they want to.
Or 2nd and 6, actually. You see the difference in the yardage, but that's because Notre Dame gave the ball literally to Georgia down on the 2 and then fumbled it away on the 22, and Georgia scored both their touchdowns.
Georgia has been an opportunist team all year long, having taken away 44 balls from the opponents on pass, interception, and fumbles. 44 times before this game.
Second down and 6 from the 16. Corey gives it to Stone. Stone's hit behind the line of scrimmage and decked all the way back on the 20. Whoa, Georgia's that time read it just right, and they were sending folks.
We talked about earlier that Georgia will try to penetrate. What we mean by that is break the seam, going between the Notre Dame blockers, not taking them on head up. That's what happened, and that was the reason the play had a lost yardage.
There's the man right there without the hair who has put the Georgia defensive scheme together, Irk Russell. Ball is back. about the 19 of Georgia. And Corey on a roll. Mike getting blocking. Going to run it. He's quick. He gets it back down to about the 12. He is short of the first down on third down. And probably we'll see the Irish field goal unit.
The key play for Georgia was the loss on 2nd and 5 when Carter took a 4-yard loss on a straight base play by excellent play by the Georgia Bulldogs.
Time is called, charged against Notre Dame with 9:01 to play in the first half. They want to think about their situation, trailing in the game 17-3. The last 3-4 days down here in New Orleans have just been spectacular. Blue sky, warm, and it's like that today. But we've got 77,895 folks inside the Superdome, which is a new Sugar Bowl record here. And the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame are going to go for the touchdown. The ball has been marked short of the Georgia 13, and they've got to go very close to the Georgia 10. They need about 3 yards on 4th down. Corey wants to throw, puts it in the air. It is intercepted by Scott Werner, and he's coming out with it. And he comes out to the 18. The call was intended for Pete Holohan. And Werner at 6 feet out-jumped Holohan, who is 6'5", and made the interception. This is one of these ball games, Frank, where you're having a lot of big plays that is inflaming this Georgia football team.
This is just a sensational play by Warner, number 19. As he goes high, remember that Holohan, number 31, stands 6'5". Warner, this is his 6th interception of the year, his 14th of his career, and he is excellent runner, as you can see with the football.
And it's first down Georgia at their own 18 as they turn the Irish away, and Herschel Walker has the ball, breaks it up the middle, gets it out to the 23, maybe the 24. And Dodd Crable and Joe Rudzinski make the tackle. Now, that's the first time today I have called Crable's name.
That is a surprise. Georgia must be doing a great job blocking on Crable with their center, Radloff.
Radloff and Joe Happy are alternating in there at center. And that really is the first clear tackle that Crable has made today.
Pump it up, y'all.
Harper's out at tackle, and Jimmy Harper is in to replace him. Jimmy replacing Jeff. Jimmy weighs 280. Buck Ballou hands the ball to Herschel Walker. Walker gets away from Stacy Torren, the freshman cornerback, and runs it from the 24 up to about the 26, maybe the 27.
That's a wonderful graphic of a fine football player. Scott Warner, as you can see these numbers, had 2 knee operations in the last 11 months. He rehabilitated the leg. He wanted to be a part of this football team, and he's been a vital cog in its success.
Scott is from Jonesboro. There's a little note that's of interest. This is being closed captioned for the hearing impaired members of our audience today. We hope you're enjoying it. One of our engineering guys has worked on it a long time as Herschel Walker breaks it over the left side, gets good blocking, and goes for a first down. Herschel Walker now beginning to make his presence really known. He's run for 63 yards on 14 carries and scored 2 touchdowns.
And the most that any back has made against the Notre Dame defense in the 11 games of the season totals 87 yards. That's Herschel Walker's number.
First down, Georgia. Ball is on their own 33. They lead in the ball game 17-3. The plays up the middle. Big daylight. And Herschel Walker takes it to the Notre Dame 44. He picked up 23 yards on that blast up the middle. He's now got 86 yards.
Watch what happens on the blocking up the middle. Walker explodes, and when I tell you he explodes, as you can watch, Kremke get pushed inside. Zavotny cannot come back. Watch him go with that football. 220 pounds, 9.2 speed, and poor little Gibbons, the safety man, has got to try to get him down. He did get some help.
44-yard line. They go inside to Carney Norris in a tailback as Herschel comes out. Take a little breath after that explosion up the middle, and Carney is hit pretty much along. As a matter of fact, he lost a little bit. Back close to the 45. 7:05 to play in the first half.
In visiting with the Georgia coaches, they commented on how the team really worships Herschel Walker. They believe in him and they want him to break every record. He's just been a sensation.
On second down, back to throw Ballou. Gonna run it. And his scramble is good for about a yard before Rick Naylor, a freshman out of Cincinnati, brings him down. Walker is out of there right now. Norris is in at tailback. Ballou on the deep drop. Wasn't a single red shirt available to him, so he pulled it down.
That's the great thing about a quarterback who can scramble once his receivers are covered and avoid the loss. Gives Georgia a chance still to make a first down.
Walker is back in at tailback. Not sure Ballou knows it. Now he turns around and sees him. Takes it to Herschel. On the deep drop. Wasn't a single red shirt available to him, so he pulled it down.
That's the great thing about a quarterback who can scramble once his receivers are covered and avoid the loss. Gives Georgia a chance still to make a first down.
Walker is back in at tailback. Not sure Ballou knows it. Now he turns around and sees him. Takes it to Herschel. Tries to put it up. Gets it off over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Incomplete. Pass intended for Walker. Crable hit him just as the ball got there, and it bounced out.
Well, play-action passes really take a risk for the Georgia Bulldog team because of the power and the muscle. Let's watch Crable as he drops back and defends against, I believe Walker is the one that's the pass receiver, number 24. Crable closes right in, puts his head here right on the back of Walker and knocks the ball loose.
Malkowitz with a punt, wants to hang it high, and he does. He really spun it up in the air, and Georgia trying to put it down, and it takes a big high bounce and bounces over there, out reaching hands, and it'll come out to the 20. First down for Notre Dame. Now you have 5:58 to play in the first half. Georgia taking advantage of two Irish mistakes, lead 17-3. ABC News close-up tonight, 9:30 Eastern Time, a dramatization with actual film of the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia in 1968. It's a very interesting program, especially in light of what's been happening in that part of the world recently. So see it tonight, an ABC News special, 9:30 Eastern Time, Invasion. From the 21st down for the Irish. Turned away last time after a good drive by an interception. Give it to Phil Carter, and Carter is caught at the 22. The Georgia defense is swarming number 96, Dale Carver, and Frank Ross, number 48.
The Georgia defense uses a 8-man front that plays up and down the line of scrimmage. Their term is we got to live with a yardage inside to stop the big gains outside and to cover the passes.
Second down and 8 with Holohan and Hunter coming wide to the open side of the field. Corey gives it to the tailback. And Phil Carter is out to the 27. It'll be third down and about 3 as Eddie Weaver made the stop for Georgia.
Eddie Weaver and Jimmy Payne, the other fine defensive football player, they're trying to line up and guess with Notre Dame and line up on the side that Notre Dame is likely to run. They guessed correct on the last play.
Jimmy Payne's a 240-odd pound sophomore, 6'4", still growing. They think he's going to be a great one.
They definitely do. He's got the speed to really close and rush the passes.
Third down, 3 for the Irish. It's Carter. And Carter can't get there. He gets it up to about the 28, and that's it. It was Tim Crow who looped and cut his legs from under him. So the big defensive lineman from Stone Mountain, Georgia, makes his second big play of the ball game, and the Irish will have to punt.
It's a very critical play. It forces the punt rather than let Notre Dame keep the football. They still had a chance to score. Now Georgia will come out with pretty good field position.
Blair Keel to do the punting. Scott Werner is deep. Good punt. Knuckleball.
Not much hang time.
Werner turned it left. No place to go. Had he come back to the right side, he might have had a little daylight. Good coverage by the Irish. 44-yard punt. The Harlem Globetrotters featured on ABC's Wide World of Sports. January 17, World Cup skiing from Kitzbühel. On the 24th, World Cup gymnastics and World Cup ski jumping. As ABC's Wide World of Sports starts rolling in the month of January.
The Globetrotters continue to gain fans every year.
First down for Georgia from their own 29. Gain is out to about the 31. Herschel listed at 218. There have been times when he's weighed more than that, but he looked pretty lean yesterday when I was visiting with him. Tim Marshall, who is a freshman defensive tackle for Notre Dame out of Chicago, made the stop. There's another youngster who's going to be a great football player, number 77 in white.
He has a tremendous explosive charge. Marshall does. He has 12 sacks this year.
Herschel Walker has now run for 88 yards. That's more yards than any other back against Notre Dame, but then Herschel Walker is not hardly any other back, is he? There's a penalty flag thrown as Georgia runs it off the left side. Walker carrying. Mike Corey has got some ice on his right hand, his passing hand. Here's the penalty down.
It's motion. Offense.
Quite sure Notre Dame will take this call because Walker picked up about 7.
Jim Blakely, number 77, the left offensive guard, trying to pull out and get in front of Walker on the sweep. Jumped the gun just a moment.
It's a motion. Offense. Second down.
Ball is sitting back at the 26. And it's second down and 13. Lindsey Scott and Chuck Jones wide to the open side of the field. Both are flyers. Ballou rolls that way. Buck loops it. It's intercepted. Was he inbound? No. It was caught out of bounds by John Krim. Notre Dame defensive secondary did not give Ballou much of a target.
The rush, Ballou's throwing on the run, and you just not quite as accurately as a rule. You're going to see Ballou just throw the ball. Krim, number 19, will come right in front, but keep in mind that in college you have to have one foot come inbounds after he gets possession of the ball. Very clearly, his left foot is out of bounds, and officials called it correctly.
And it's third down and 13 now. Let's see if he decides to go deep here. Charles Jr., another speedster, is out there. Nope. Give the ball inside. And Walker thunders up across the 30 to the 32, close to the 33. They look like they're marking short of the 33. That'll bring up fourth down for Georgia. And Mark Malkowitz in the punt. Walker now with 95 yards on 17 carries.
Third down and long. That ends under circumstances. Short time to go before the clock. Precautionary tactics. Don't throw it. Give it to Walker. Hope he can make some yardage.
Malkowitz been pretty good on his hang time. Big rush for the Irish. Gets it away. Not much hang on this one. There's a little bit of room for it, but Johnny Krim taking no chances. Fair catches it at the 38. And we've got a penalty flag back upfield. It looks like we may have a roughing the kicker call against Notre Dame as Crable made contact.
Keith, it really was a late block by Crable. He lost his poise a little bit.
Unsportsmanlike. Right.
Well, it's an unsportsmanlike call, not roughing the kicker. So Crable just got there too late.
And on this, Notre Dame will get to keep the football. But it will be first down and 25 because it was a dead ball penalty. That's what it appeared to be.
That's exactly what it is. So the Georgia defense, which has been a big surprise in its ability to control the Irish, though the Irish made 2 mistakes that resulted in the 2 Georgia touchdowns. The thing that has been surprising to me, Frank.
Unsportsmanlike. Right.
Right. The thing that I have been most surprised about so far in the ball game is the ability of the Georgia offensive front to keep the Notre Dame defense back there.
That's an interesting point because we all thought, including Georgia, that they might not be able to stop the Notre Dame power. But Notre Dame has run wide against the wide tackle 6, which has the weakness up the middle. Too often.
Dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike. Right.
Okay, Clint. Ball is at the 23. Blair Keel is back at quarterback now for the Irish. So far, they haven't found a quarterback that could stick it in the end zone. We saw Corey with ice on his hand a moment ago, his right hand. Keel is 4 out of 7 for 52 yards. He started. 2:40 to go in the first half. Out of the shotgun, Blair Keel. He hums one down the sidelines and throws it into the bench. Mastak was over there. Hunter.
Unfortunately for Notre Dame, Hunter was wide open. Keel just had too much on the ball. Hunter, the defensive back, Warner, was playing him very loose right before the half, very wisely to play him loose, and Hunter had a chance to make a big play, but Keel overthrew it.
Eddie Weaver, 61, has come out of the ball game at middle guard now for Georgia, and that'll put Kevin Jackson, a 255-pound sophomore from Cartersville, in the ball game. Second down and 10 for the Irish. Jimmy Stone, tailback, caught behind the line of scrimmage. Number 91, Tim Crow, with his third big play of the ball game. Let me go back to that penalty, Frank. It was a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. It was a late hit. After the whistle had blown the ball dead, Notre Dame had already accepted the football on the fair catch. Thus, the penalty was imposed with Notre Dame keeping possession of the ball and losing 15 yards.
That's what I said, I thought earlier, but yes, that's exactly right. Dead ball foul, first and 25 for Notre Dame.
Now it is third, and quick kick. Nope, give it a reverse to Phil Carter. Carter with a lot of room and penalty flags it down. I think Phil left a little too soon. We'll see. I don't know if it was Phil or not. He might have taken a step forward and then come back, or it might have been inside, but we'll see. Linesman threw the flag.
Another penalty that's been hurting Notre Dame all through the football game.
Yeah, just wiped out a 21-yard run right there by Phil Carter. You've got 1:52 to play in the first half, and Georgia leading 17-3.
The situation would be fourth down and maybe 4 or 5 yards, and I don't believe Notre Dame could take, Georgia could take the chance, and that they might kick the ball. They should go ahead and take the penalty.
Notre Dame has been flagged 5 times for 35 yards. Georgia 3 times for 21. Well, you've got 1:52 to play. You're looking at third down and a half mile. So unless they come up with a real big play here, Georgia should be able to get the football back in rather decent field position.
And we go back again to the penalties against Notre Dame and the mistake that they've made. Without the penalty, the dead ball penalty, Notre Dame would have had first down at the 40-yard line.
Right. All right, Ross comes in at linebacker, replacing Forts. Forts was hurt earlier. He's been back in play. It is third down. They've got to go to the 48 to get the first down. The ball is sitting just inside the 20. And Corey is back at quarterback. Mike comes outside, and he is caught from behind and brought down at the 20-yard line. Making the tackle for Georgia, Jimmy Payne, following the play. And now Notre Dame will have to punt on fourth down. And the punt's going to be hit somewhere around the 10 or 12, so Georgia should have pretty good field position.
And Georgia called timeout very wisely so that they can stop the clock and have a chance to maybe score.
And as you saw, 1 minute and 19 seconds left to play in the first half. The Bulldogs and Notre Dame both have 2 timeouts remaining. On fourth down for Notre Dame, standing back, it is 6. 1:19 to play. Scott Werner is deep for Georgia. Bulldogs leading 17-3. No pressure on Keel. His kick is away. It's a good one for Werner. He's going to take it at the 40. Looks for a little hole. Finds a little bit. Makes some more and runs it back to the Notre Dame 47. Mike Bushka brought him down. But that was a heck of a piece of work by big Scott Werner. Halftime, we'll talk to both coaches, have both bands for you, and highlights of the first half.
Werner loves to handle that ball on punch. He's good at it. He knows he's good at it, and he wants that football.
From the Irish 47, first down Georgia, 1:06 to play, and Walker goes in motion. And Ballou running out of time, trying to get away. He is caught and brought down by Gramke. And Buck was within a half a step of picking up about 20 yards that time. But I'll tell you, play-action passes just do not work against a football team as big, as strong, and talented as the Irish defense.
That is a good point, because on play-action pass, the quarterback has his back to the line of scrimmage. He's not looking for the blitz, and should it happen, he cannot get away from it. He doesn't know what to do, and Ballou has not completed a pass so far in this half.
He is 0 for 4, and that time was chased out. So in several instances, he's been trying to, and just simply hasn't been able to.
Notre Dame's front four are so big and powerful that they can put a rush on the average football team, particularly on a play-action pass where the linemen foul out and try to make their pass protection block look like they run. Notre Dame doesn't buy that. They just keep coming.
55 seconds to play in the first half. Georgia has one timeout remaining. But the Bulldogs are sitting on a 14-point lead. How do you do? Wallace Wade. Nobody ever wins a football game. Somebody loses.
We're seeing that today.
Ballou, deep drop this time. Goes short. Throws it in front of Herschel Walker. Never had a chance. Stuck it in the ground right in front of him. Again, the Notre Dame linebackers were looking Buck right in the eyes of Vagnon. Mark was there, and so was Bobby Crable.
Notre Dame coaches confided in me yesterday by saying that they were going to try to intimidate Ballou with a big rush early in the ball game, and they've been successful with the rush. But Notre Dame's mistakes have cost them dearly.
The ball is at the Georgia 49. It's third down and about 15 with 50 seconds to go in the first half. Ballou has time, goes on a sideline pattern intended for Norris Brown, and it's knocked away by Tom Gibbons, a senior out of Alexandria, Virginia. Fine play by Tommy, and it brings up fourth down and kicking time for the Bulldogs. So Georgia is not able to do anything with the opportunity they have. See Brown coming across. He was open. If Ballou probably had thrown the ball a little sooner, might have been able to come down with it.
Very good point. The ball was just late. He was open momentarily, Brown.
Malkowitz in to punt. Gets it off, spins it up there. Again, good hang time, forcing John Krim into a fair catch call back at the Notre Dame 17. So with 38 seconds to play in the first half, go back to the point we made earlier. The big play man for Notre Dame is Hunter. Tony Hunter, 6'5" wide receiver who can fly. And Blair Keel, the youngster with the strong right arm, is in at quarterback.
Tony Hunter missed part of the season with an ankle sprain, but he's well now. Notre Dame very desperately needs to find a way to get the ball to him.
He never saw the ball in the Southern California game. Didn't make the catch.
Didn't catch one pass the entire game.
Shotgun. Keel gets it off. Pass is complete to the tailback. But there isn't a whole lot there as Carter is brought down up at the 18. And the clock running at 25 seconds. Looks like Notre Dame's going to let him run out. Now they call time. Keel has called time. He looked to the sidelines for the play, didn't have it, and called time. Irish now have one timeout remaining with 14 seconds to play. As I told you, a new Sugar Bowl record here in the Superdome of 77,895. The old mark was 484 after the 77,000. And if you're wondering about the rushing record, let me tell you that the Sugar Bowl record is 202 yards by Tony Dorsett, and he set that against Georgia. And Pittsburgh was the national champion. Herschel Walker now, on 17 carries, has 95 yards.
He has a chance because of his tremendous speed.
And he's like a lot of the great running backs. Frank, he just gets stronger as the game goes on.
And looking at his long runs for the season, he had 2 in the fourth quarter, 2 in the third quarter, which is a true indication of what you said. He gets stronger as the game goes along.
O.J. Simpson was that way. Jimmy Brown was that way. Big guy from Texas was that way. Second down. 8 from the 18. Keel out of the shotgun up the sideline. Oh, what a hit Hunter took. Whoa. Tony's all right. I don't know about the Georgia man, though. Looks like the Georgia man is down. Now watch the play from ground level and watch this lick.
You're going to see how receivers get into an exposed position. They're vulnerable to the pass as Dale Williams, number 9, just cuts his feet out from under him. You wonder why he's not hurt, injured. Hunter, that is, but he was loose and up in the air, and he just took the blow. And Williams is the one that was knocked out. But he's all right now.
Hunter is 6'5", 211, and a sophomore. There's Herschel. Incredible amount of pressure has been imposed on this young man in his freshman year, but he's handled it pretty well. He stayed within the ranks of his teammates.
That's a very great point, because all the publicity could just ruin a youngster, but Herschel, very unusual.
I thought one of the smarter things he did, too, was stay at home to go to school.
Around friends and family.
Very important. Ball is just sneaked out to the 20 now, and that should do it for the first half of play as the clock ticks off. And Clint Fuller has waved it stop with 2 seconds. So Notre Dame apparently spent its last time out there, or did they? Yes, they did. Trainers and the water bucket has come onto the field. And so inside that big structure, the Superdome, no, it's Georgia. Georgia called the timeout. Well, they want see, Notre Dame, they know full well is going to either put it up or punt it, and they want Scott Werner to get a hold of it. So on 4th down and long, Werner should be able to get the football up around the middle of the field. Sundays on ABC Sports, we'll have the Superstars and International Boxing starting January 25. And ABC's Wide World of Sports will premiere February 1. Check your local listings for those events.
Keith, I'd be surprised with only 2 seconds on the clock if they try to punt it.
I would,
they
too.
can use the 2 seconds on a running play before Georgia could possibly call timeout.
I don't know, well, Georgia without timeouts. Now, I would not want Scott Werner running around back there in this particular point in the ball game. Not when you're down by 14 points, because he is dangerous and not going to kick it. Give the ball off to Phil Carter. Carter with a convoy out in front, runs it out across the 30, and that'll do it for the first half of play in this 47th Sugar Bowl game. And the Georgia Bulldogs are leading the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame by a score of 17-3. And Bill Fleming is standing right now with Vince Dooley.
And with Vince Dooley right now, Coach, it sure looks like you do have the #1 team in the nation. What alertness.
Well, it's still too early to tell, but we did make some big plays in the kicking game that got us going. And we had an opportunity to hopefully to get one more. I was hoping we could, but I think we're really just starting now. The second half is where it is.
You could have had one more on that long bomb to Norris Brown.
Yeah, he was open, and he beat our tight end can run, and we may throw to him again before the day's over.
Does it surprise you that you have not completed a pass and yet you lead by 14 points?
Well, I hadn't thought about it. I don't even keep those stats, you know, but I think we're fortunate to be where we are. Second half is where it is.
You know, on the kickoff where there was a mix-up in the Notre Dame receivers, do you have any idea what could have happened there? Is there a difference in depth perception in this dome?
Well, that's what Archie Manning told me the other day. He's played in it a long while, so he should know. But evidently it looked like the kick was going to go further than what it went. It looked like the safety man just ran out, assuming that it would go deep, but it hung and dropped short. Thank goodness.
3. And they first.
Look at the bottom, the one that jumps out, turnover, 2 for Notre Dame, none for Georgia. Georgia had to move a total of 24 yards for 2 touchdowns as they recovered. 1 fumble on Notre Dame's 2 and the other on the 22. That is the difference in the ball game.
Right now, here is Bill Fleming with Coach Dan Devine.
Coach, the mistakes really did hurt. I don't know what happened on that kickoff, whether they lost it in the lights or whether it was just a mistaken signal on which guy was going to catch it.
Well, actually, they didn't hear, and that's just something that you work on, Bill. We have 2 veteran kids back there. I can't fault them that much. Something we didn't want to happen, but it did. We just got to overcome it now.
Now, Corey had his hand on ice. Is there anything wrong with it?
Yes, he has a broken bone in his hand. He injured it going in for that drive, and we didn't know it, but we're not
not going to see him then.
No, he can't play, Bill. He'll be on the sideline, but we're determined. We have to cut out our mistakes. We've let them go too short a distance, and when we made an offensive mistake, we haven't stormed out and stopped them. So we've got to set the tempo here early in the second half. This is a great Georgia team. I can see why they're 11-0, but we aren't beat yet.
Now, with the absence of Corey and you can't use him, is there anything offensively you might do differently in the second half?
No, actually, our game plan, Bill, is perfect. We're just keep penalties, 3 penalties of kill first downs,
3 turnovers, and that's
three
it.
turnovers, and that's it. We're doing everything right except execution, and we just have to execute.
Okay, Coach. Back upstairs to you, Keith. We're ready to play football.
All right, Bill, I might point out, going into the second half of play, that Notre Dame has now gone 6 quarters without scoring a touchdown. They will kick off to the Georgia Bulldogs now. And deep for Georgia, Scott Werner and Chuck Jones. Werner 19, Jones number 1. And it is a short kick, and Jones comes up to take it all the way out on the 13. And he gets up to the 23, and he goes down in a heap. With Tony Belden leading. Georgia's offensive backs and receivers are reflected there. At least we anticipate that's the way they'll come out and line up for the start of the second half. And the offensive front, which has been outstanding, really outstanding. Harper, Blakewood, Happy, Morrison, Hudson, and Brown, with Radloff alternating the center with Joe Happy. So it is Georgia's football. Let's say the 24, first down, and they lead 17-3 as we start the second half. Jones goes in motion. They give it off to Womack, the fullback, of his first carry of the ball game, and Jimmy, whose birthday is today, pops it up to the 26. John Hankard is a defensive end, played well. Joe Gramke has been pretty quiet in the middle of the Irish melee down there. Pat Kramer had one big play. Scott Zedek, defensive end. Linebackers are Mark Savagnan. Bob Crable has dropped off a lot in short zone coverage and pass defense so far. Joe Rudzinski had a big play in the first half. Second down and 8 from the 26 for Georgia, and Amp Arnold is in and in motion. Herschel Walker has the ball, and Herschel Walker runs over people, pushes his way out to about the 34. The Irish secondary, Stacy Toran, is a freshman playing at cornerback. John Krim is the man usually deep on the punt. Dave Burison had 1 blitz and 1 big play. Tom Gibbons knocked down a couple of passes. Walker now has gone over 100 yards, 18 carries and 103 yards for Herschel Walker, and the chains are out to see whether or not he reached first down area as he got close to the 24. Stretch it out. It's a first down for the Bulldogs. So again, to set you up on the story of Herschel Walker, he gained 1,616 yards in his freshman year. That's what he's done there today so far. The Sugar Bowl record for yardage gained on the ground, 202 yards by Tony Dorsett. Bulldogs operating first down from their own 34. Buck Bellew has not completed a pass so far in the ball game. Go back to Walker. Walker getting pursuit, but gets outside the pursuit. He's turned upside down by number 27, Tom Gibbons, and that's really the best way for a 181-pounder to try to tackle Herschel Walker.
Go at his feet. If you go up at his hip or his thigh, he will run over you, as he's already demonstrated many, many times in this ball game.
Give him a yard, second down and 9. Two turnovers by Notre Dame produced touchdown opportunities for Georgia. They cashed them in. The third turnover was a pass interception in the Georgia end zone. Buck Bellew staying with the play action passing. And there you go. Tim Marshall just kept coming and got him. Marshall and Zedek were both there. And the loss is back inside the 25 to the 24. Loss of 10.
Number 77, Tim Marshall, is just a freshman. He started 2 ball games, played in all 11, and has 10 sacks for the season. That's his level. That shows the quickness of this young freshman.
That is the 3rd sack of Bellew in the ball game for a total of 11 yards. And now it is 3rd down and about 20 for Georgia. Notre Dame trying to get the momentum, trying to get the edge early. They give it to Walker, and Herschel's outside, comes back up to about the 34 before a couple of fellows in white come up to get him. Dave Burison being the primary hitter on the play. And now Georgia's got to punt it away. With Malkovich coming onto the field, Notre Dame should have the ball in pretty good field position.
Notre Dame defense stopping Georgia on their first series is a big psychological boost to them, plus giving them pretty good field position.
That's Scott Grooms on the sidelines there, another freshman quarterback warming up. You've heard that Mike Corey has a broken bone in his right hand and can't play anymore. Blair Keel will be coming out. Fair catch is called by Notre Dame's Dewerson back at the 34. It was a 33-yard punt with no return, and now here are the Irish. Let's see what the offense can do. They have the greater numbers in the offense, but they don't have anything on the scoreboard save the 50-yard field goal by Harry Oliver. And it's Keel, Carter, Sweeney, Holohan, and Hunter. Shiner, Huffman, Scully, Thayer, Posderick, and Maztak, the big guys up front. Holohan to the left, Hunter to the right. Hunter has not seen the ball yet today. Holohan had the ball taken away from him. And here's Keel's loop to the sidelines and is thrown much too high and into the crowd. The University of Georgia defense. Robert Miles played very well, a senior out of Montgomery. Jimmy Payne, only a sophomore, hometowner who stayed there to play ball. Eddie Weaver had a big first half, playing the middle of the defensive unit. Tim Crow had 3 big plays in the first half, and Pat McShay had a quarterback sack. It is second down and 10 for the Irish from the 34. Keel now 5'11" for 54 yards. Georgia's defense bouncing around, drops off to a 4-man front. Keel outside, turns it upfield. Big, strong youngster who can run the football, and he runs it out of bounds up around the 45, and that will be a first down for Notre Dame. Frank Ross is the linebacker, captain of the team for this game. Nate Taylor is an improving sophomore linebacker. Scott Werner is the cornerback who had the interception, the punt returner. Mike Fisher also had a big pass deflection. Chris Welton recovered the fumble that gave Georgia its second touchdown opportunity. Jeff Hipp led the club in interceptions with 8 during the past season, and that man has been the wheelhouse, the horse.
And he's lived up to his billing all year long in every ball game, accepted the pressure, and has demonstrated conclusively that he's a great player.
From the 46 is where they put it, and Keel on a roll, pulls it down, runs it upfield, and number 47 got him to the leg. Or no, it's 87, Payne. And he goes down at about the 49. So give him 3, second down and 7. And you can see the stark shadows in the bright sunshine. It's bathing the city of New Orleans. I imagine it's pretty quiet down in the quarter right now, but it wasn't last night. Holohan in motion. And the pitch to Phil Carter. And Carter dives it over the right side and gets decent yardage out of it, puts it down on the Georgia 47, and it'll bring up a third down and about 2.
This is a very, very critical call and play for Notre Dame. They need to keep this momentum. 3rd and 2 is a tough call against the Georgia defense because they've got to run up the middle or they take a chance going wide for the loss, which happened early in the game.
Carter didn't get there. Gang tackle, Payne, 87, the first contact. The defensive lineman, and then Crow, 91, really put him down.
Just an excellent play by the Georgia defense. They did what we talked about earlier. They penetrated, broke the seam, and stopped Carter before he could get started.
So Blair Keel drops back in punt formation with Scott Werner deep for the Bulldogs on 4th down and 2.
Keep going, Mike! Keep going, Mike!
No pressure on him. He hangs it a mile high. Werner's going to let it go. Notre Dame trying to get to it, down it, knock it back. Going to bring it out to the 20. And so the two teams trade offensive possessions. Notre Dame gets some movement, but not enough. 47-yard punt. Georgia's ball at 10:07 to go, 3rd quarter. Georgia 17-3 have the ball first down at the 20 in the 3rd quarter. Georgia, the only Division I team with an unblemished record. Number 1, trying to win their first national championship ever. Pitch out to Walker. Wants to throw a halfback pass. Gets it off. It's a knuckleball down the sidelines, but there's incomplete. The ball was well short, but there is a penalty flag thrown downfield. Amp Arnold was the intended receiver on the sideline, so let's see what the flag's about.
I believe it was the receiver went out of bounds on his own and not pushed out of bounds. Therefore, when he came back in, he was ineligible. No penalty.
No penalty. Official picks up his flag, and it remains at the 20, and it's second down. If he had caught the ball, there would have been a penalty.
That's correct. They brought it back incomplete.
Ballou turns his back, throws it, short, intended for the fullback, Womack. Can't hang on. Wouldn't have had a first down anyway. He would have gone out of bounds at about the 26. And so that brings up a third. Buck Ballou now is 0 for 7.
That is really amazing because against Georgia Tech in the final game of the season, as Georgia Tech gained on Georgia and trailed them only by 3 points, Ballou took them down the field throwing the ball for 3 quick scores.
Third down and 10. Walker, left side. Got a little daylight, but Crable is over there finally to ride him out of bounds up around the 25-26. And the Bulldogs will have to punt it away. And once again, Notre Dame's going to get the ball in good field position. Walker now 21 carries for 119 yards.
Keith, you mentioned that Notre Dame hadn't scored a touchdown the last 6 quarters. In the game that they tied, they didn't score a touchdown against Georgia Tech, and they didn't score a touchdown against the Southern Cal in the game that they lost.
So they've actually gone 10 quarters, haven't they?
Well, no, Georgia Tech was 2 weeks before. They played Air Force and Notre Dame in between them.
It's a high-hanging kick, but it's not very long. Fair catch is called by Jurison at the 39. And so here comes Notre Dame again with good field position, 36-yard punt. Coming up on January 10, we've got the Hula Bowl in Honolulu for you, and some of the players on the West squad include the big guy Mike Riley, Washington, playing in the Rose Bowl today. You'll see Ronnie Lott. The quarterbacks will be Phil Bradley of Missouri, Samoa, Washington State. Mark Herman will be the quarterback of the East team. And it's just a heck of a collection. Phil Bradley of Missouri at quarterback for the West. We'll have a lot of fun. January 10, join us for the Hula Bowl. And Blair Keel under pressure gets around the corner. McShay finally turns him toward the sidelines, and Welton comes up and knocks him out.
One thing that we should draw attention to the fact that Notre Dame is rolling out against the wide tackle 6 front, which means that the defensive ends and tackles are very wide. And as Eddie Weaver, their very fine tackle, leaves the game, number 61. Let's watch him, see if we can tell. He's trying to fight his way through, then releases and pursues out the line. And he's limping. He was hurt earlier.
Ball is sitting out at the 43-yard line, second down and about 5, and the sideline pass is complete to Pete Holohan. Pete's a big guy, 6'5" and about 228 pounds. Georgia has to gang tackle him to get him down, but he's got a Notre Dame first down after Georgia 43.
Notre Dame can just hit some short passes and let their backs and receivers run with it. I think it will change the Georgia defense from the way they played so far. As Houlihan, number 31, goes out. As Keith mentioned, he's a big one, 6'5". Let's watch him run as Scott Warner, the All-American, misses him and fights right back and gets in the play.
First down Irish, Bulldog 43. Georgia leading 17-3 with 9:15 to play, third quarter. Keel gives it to Jim Stone, the tailback. Stone runs with authority inside the 40 to the 38. Got almost 5 before Nate Taylor made the tackle. Taylor, he's only 5'11", 198, paying the left side linebacker. And he's not the fastest fellow around. Certainly not the biggest guy. But all he does is make one big play after another.
As we said earlier, he's a walk-on. Everybody in Georgia turned him down. He went to the university and got a battlefield promotion before the Clemson ball game by being given a scholarship and a starting position, which he's held for 2 years.
On second down, Keel on a drop. Gets his pass off to the sidelines. The pass is caught by Peter Holohan. Peter Holohan shrugs off one Georgia tackler and finally is out of bounds down around the 25, and that's going to be another first down for Notre Dame. So once again, they're moving.
Notre Dame repeated the same pass as we looked at Uga. He needs to fire those Bulldogs up a little bit by Houlihan going from the inside position out on the boundary. And Fisher missed the tackle before Nate Taylor, the linebacker, came out and knocked him out of bounds.
Number 25, first down Irish. Bushka in at flanker, Houlihan out. had an 8-man front that time. The quick pass to the sidelines. Hunter steps out of bounds at the 20.
Keith mentioned that it's hard to hear in the dome. Some coaches just refuse to change the play at the line for the fear of someone not hearing and getting a bad play. The noise bounces back down on the field from the roof, makes it very difficult.
8:25 to go in the third quarter. The Irish just inside the 20. Second down and about 5. Fullback Sweeney goes in motion. Hits the ball to the tailback, Carter. Carter ducking in behind the fullback's block. Drives down to the 15. He may have a first down, depending on the mark they give him. They mark him right on the 15. That should be enough.
I know everybody hates, Notre Dame hates to see Mike Curry get hurt and won't play anymore, as Dan Devine revealed to us. But one thing it does, it gives the football team an idea, hey, Keel's our quarterback. He's got to do it. Let's do it for him. Could bring them together and make them a better football team.
They don't give him the first down. Just inches short. Third down. Keel keeps it, dives to the 13, and Notre Dame now controlling the football, moving it along, using the short pass, and occasional tailback burst. Optional ability by the quarterback. They marched it down inside the 14 to a first down.
Very, very impressive drive. Keel making the key plays, 2 good passes, 3 actually completions, plus his scrambling ability.
Just inside the 14. And the ball off. Fullback Buchanan. Buchanan is hit. Maybe a yard on the carry. Again, gang tackling by Georgia.
The swarming Georgia defense. As we said earlier, they believe in stopping the wide plays, go slow inside, and try to swarm the ball carrier, which they just did on Sweeney, number 33. Look at this interesting stat. 6 opponents this year at halftime.
Jim Stone is coming at tailback as they go to the split back formation now with Carter leaving. Keel drops back, throws to Hunter. No, out of bounds. Tony Hunter running with Mike Fisher. Hunter at 6'5", Fisher at 6 feet. Keel put it there, but he's out of bounds.
Little play action pass, and Hunter and Fisher are just bumping each other, as you see earlier. And let's see if Hunter is in bounds. He has to, remember, come down with 1 foot in bounds. Don't believe he did.
He had the takeoff foot inbounds, but he did not possess the ball from that angle. Let's see what we see from here.
Watch a little shoving going on right here. Let's see. No, I don't believe it's an illegal play.
Looked like an incomplete pass. 10th play in this possession by the Irish. Third down, loop to the corner for Holohan. And Pete cannot come up with it as he and Werner fought for the ball. Last time they threw that pass, Werner intercepted it. This time he had to fight for his life to knock it loose from Holohan.
Werner's playing man for man, not watching the ball until the receiver jumps up. Watch him turn his head at the exact time the receiver jumps for the ball. And you can see that that's, in my judgment, that's close to interference. If he's not facing the passer, he cannot bump the receiver.
30-yard field goal attempt by Harry Oliver. He has a 50-yarder. He's 7 out of 7 from this distance on the season. Left hash mark, the left footer knocks it up. Missed it! He missed it! So here's Notre Dame with a well-conceived drive. Running off 11 plays, and they are turned away empty and still trailed by 14 as Georgia takes over. By Harry Oliver. Important thing is to judge from here when it goes by. It was no good, regardless of what your opinion might be. Now it looks like it's passing the goalpost outside. As it hooks later, it looks good from there. But it's long since gone by the uprights. And Georgia back to the attack, hands the ball off. And for the first time today, I guess it is, Herschel Walker is knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. First time, and Pat Kramer was the man primarily responsible for Notre Dame. He loses a yard. There's Mike Curry, who played some at quarterback in the first half, and has a broken bone in his right hand. stuff, he feels nothing right now, I'm sure, except he can't grip the ball. Second down, 11. Ballou on a roll to the left. Gets his pass off to the sidelines. It's overthrown, intended for Chuck Jones. Jones had no chance to get to the ball.
Number 70, Scott Seddick, has had a great senior year. Let's watch him, how he plays. The blocker, number 75, he just pushes him back and then goes right on in and puts the pressure on Ballou after he threw the ball. And finally just throws him to the ground.
All right, it's on the 19, third down, 11. Ballou gives the ball to Walker. Walker can't find much room. Gets from the 19 out to about the 22. Taken down there by Tim Marshall. Now you see Curry's trying to throw the ball. Okay. Maybe it's not a break, though I'm sure they must have x-rayed it. Oh, now we're told, well, anyway, we'll see if he comes back. Dan Devine said he had a broken hand, and we'll wait and see. The kick is away by Malkowitz on fourth down. Not a very long kick. Once again, Notre Dame has good position. Dewerson fields it and tries to run it back, and he's taken down by Stewart. Ronnie Stewart, fullback, came downfield on the punt coverage after a 35-yard punt. Notre Dame has the football, first down at the 43. The 22, and both times scored, and a 46-yard field goal accounting for their scoring. Notre Dame's only score, 50-yard field goal by Oliver. Keel from the 43. Gets his pass to the sideline. It's good to Holohan. Pat Holohan is caught at the 50 and shoved out of bounds.
On the last two possessions, Notre Dame made some yardage, but Georgia strengthened and stopped them. Forced the punt on one occasion and a missed field goal on the second. Notre Dame has come right back to the same pass that they completed to Holohan twice a little bit earlier in the quarter. There's Buck Ballou, who's had a great year. He's a leader they all look to.
From the 49-yard line, give it to the tailback, and Phil Carter appears to have a first down as he works it down to about the 46 of Georgia. Incredible that Ballou would be 0 for 8.
And Georgia be leading.
And Georgia be leading. Mistakes. Go back to mistakes.
Coaches, that's the one thing that changes the football game is mistakes.
Look out now. Scott Werner's come off the field. It's a first down. And Werner is off there now. Let's see who they're going to put over there to cover Hunter. Greg Bell, number 20, is in. Bell is 5'11". Hunter's on this side, lined up against Mike Fisher, the other corner. First down from the Georgia 47. Give it to Carter. Phil Carter pops it up the middle, and he paid for it. He got it down to about the 44. Picked up the better part of 3 yards, but he took a walloping from Weaver and from Crow and from Creeman.
Eddie Weaver, number 61, 270 pounds. He delivers a good blow on the offensive blocker, attacking him. Then he waits and finally moves in and helps on the tackle on Carter. Number 61, Eddie Weaver, all Southeastern Conference guard.
Clear field, back to throw it, throws it short. The fullback Buchanan. Buchanan is caught by Welton and shoved out of bounds at the just inside the 40. That is just short of the first down. See the time running in the third quarter. Georgia's been giving up some real estate to the Irish offense, but each time they have turned them back without letting them score.
That's the Georgia strategy. They've used the same defense under Eric Russell for 17 years, and very successfully, I might add.
Keel now with 99 yards on 10 completions and 19 tries. On 3rd and 2, Keel almost falls down. Weaver's after him, gets his pass off, and Holohan makes a sensational catch. Pete Holohan makes the catch down at the 30, and Notre Dame keeps the drive alive. Terrific catch by Pete. He
he had to have great concentration because the ball was thrown way behind him. Short yardage. Notre Dame decided to go for a running action pass, and Houlihan is going to see the ball being thrown behind him. He turns and leaps back, concentrates, pulls it in for the completion.
First down Irish, Georgia 30. Houlihan's caught 4 for 44. Give it to Carter. Phil Carter on a sweep and a hold. And the sophomore busts his way down inside the 20 to the 19. Buchanan, the fullback, led him through the right side.
What we should mention again, this is the third possession this quarter for Notre Dame. This is the third good drive that they have put forth. They came away empty on the other two. Let's see what happens with first down on the 19.
And you begin to wonder is whether or not the Georgia defense might be getting a little tired. Been out there a long time in the third quarter. First down at the Georgia 19. It's the tailback Carter. Carter actually fell over his own man. He fell over Sweeney, the fullback. Here's Bill Fleming.
Keith, I just talked to Mike Corey. I asked him about the hand. He said, well, it hurts a little bit, but I think I could play. I said, was it broken? He said, yeah, I'm afraid so. The x-rays show that we do have a fracture here. So I don't think we'll see him again.
Okay, Bill, thank you very much. Clears that up.
Scott Warner is back in the ball game at left halfback for Georgia.
And he goes up against Tony Hunter. Man for man.
Man for man, that's right. He's right facing.
Heel back, looking for Hunter. Goes to him, and Hunter's got it. And Hunter's loose, and Hunter's inside the 5. First and goal to go, Notre Dame. And that time, Hunter put a little move inside, went outside. The pass was perfect, and this time Tony won it.
Watch this play. Just a perfect execution. You see Warner playing him man to man, meaning he's ignoring the pass. He watches it, and as soon as Hunter makes the break, he makes the break with him, but the ball is perfectly thrown. Good catch, but watch Hunter. You can see what a great athlete he is. He nearly scores with the football.
First and goal to go at the 2. Carter. Oh, not much there. Looked like there are 11 red shirts waiting for him.
And I might add, the Georgia band has picked up their noise right now, which is not going to be any help to Notre Dame hearing the snap count.
He didn't gain an inch.
Georgia will use the defense we call guts. Meaning if they throw the ball, Baz Blair's good stats, 12 out of 20. If they throw the ball, it's just a touchdown. Everybody will be coming. Everybody, all of them.
Second and goal from the 2. Houlihan, motion. Tailback, Carter. Penalty flag. Penalty flag by the linesman across the way.
I wouldn't want to guess, but I believe it was Notre Dame. Excuse me, I mean Georgia. Offside! Defense!
Right. Lindsey, number 59, playing the defensive left side, may have been the man that moved a little sooner.
A young sophomore that's had a good year. Very talented player that has a 4.6 speed. Now Notre Dame gets a free run at it again. 3 downs to make a yard and a half. I believe that they'll go right over the top with Carter. That is the best and surest way to score in football today.
All right, here it is. Second down, goal to go. Carter over the top. Touchdown. Broke the plane. And finally, Notre Dame gets a touchdown at 54 seconds to go in the third quarter.
And before Georgia receives a kickoff, Steve, I should mention that the conservatism of Georgia in this third quarter has cost them. They haven't done anything but hand the ball or pitch it to Walker and try one play-action pass that didn't work. They're going to have to get something going, and they will be prepared for it, I'm sure.
Notre Dame ran off 8 first downs in that third quarter. The 1 for Georgia. The kick by Oliver is good. And so, with 54 seconds to play in the third quarter, it is now a 7-point lead for Georgia. They took 3 runs at it and finally got it in. Herschel Walker, number 34, has gone deep on the kickoff return team, replacing Chuck Jones. First time today he has been the deep man. He's back there with Werner. You got 54 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Georgia offense has gone flat. Johnson's going to kick it off for Notre Dame. Irish closing to within 7. Let's see if he kicks it to Walker. Yeah, he does. Except Werner. Werner takes it. Scott drifts across and takes it at the 1. Tried to get through that first wave, but the Irish got him up around the 24. John Mosley brought him down. Notre Dame in that third quarter, as time is about to run off here, had the ball 9 minutes and 38 seconds. Georgia 4:28. Georgia's going to have it a little more because of the time remaining.
Georgia just went into a shell with their offense. They was backed up deep. They thought their defense could hold Notre Dame.
Yeah, but Notre Dame's big and strong, and they'll wear out your defense if you let them keep beating them.
That's a valid point. The bigger the players are, usually the better they play in the fourth quarter. Glenn Fuller is going over to talk to the timers on the right. It appears that something may be wrong with a scoreboard clock.
Well, I think it ran off some time during the movement of the change there, and I think maybe they want to restore a little time.
Gets back to the clock. 14 seconds will be added back to the clock.
Okay, that's exactly what happened. They ran off 14 seconds. So instead of 35, you got 49 to play in the third quarter.
Well, I'm not sure Georgia likes that. They might want to get the game over, but that is a defeatist attitude, and they shouldn't. They've got to feel like one more touchdown is necessary if they're going to be national champions. And we'll see what they're made of. They've come through in 11 straight ball games, and they know what it is to be behind and come forward.
They're not behind on the scoreboard, but they are at the moment behind on that mysterious element that we're all want to call momentum.
And momentum is the key of any football team. Every coach knows this. Georgia needs a big play, Keith, and something to happen to walk to the pop for a 20 or 30-yard or complete a pass that will get them out of the hole where they've been in this entire third quarter.
Herschel Walker has already had a big day, running for 121 yards on 23 carries.
He's just a sensational football player that far exceeds anything we ever thought a freshman could accomplish.
All right, first down from the 24 for Georgia. Lou looks over the Irish defense, a 4-man front. It's a 4-4 setup. They give it to Walker. Walker gets one good block. Now there are 2 Irishmen after him, and they've got him as he gets back to about the line of scrimmage. It was Hankert and Krim waiting for him, and they got him.
And the reason that they were able to make the play, Dave Durson pulled the string on the fullback by coming in and forcing Walker to give ground, giving Hankert and his teammate time to get outside and make the play.
The Notre Dame defense, as much as anything, been able to pin Georgia up. You can take that tack, or you can say that Georgia's offense went conservative. One of the cutters. Here's Walker dancing around trying to find a little daylight in the middle. It was Bob Cravel who penetrated on it, made Walker change directions, forced him back into the crowd, and they got him at the 27.
Bob Cravel, number 43, a consensus All-American, a very spirited player. His job is to read the play, probably collision the blocker if there's one there, and make the play on Walker. And all he did really was trip him up. Walker made just enough cut to make him miss him with his headgear.
It is third down and 7. Ballou looking for somebody to throw to. Doesn't have any time to throw. He's going to be sacked by John Hankert. It is the 4th sack by the Notre Dame defense, and Ballou is buried all the way back at the 7. The third quarter is done. 17-10, Georgia leads. We'll continue after this commercial message and a word from our local station. Quarter of the game. Georgia leading Notre Dame 17-10. The Irish dominating play in the second half. Mark Malkowitz has got the punt out of his end zone. Notre Dame, if they handle the ball properly, will have the kick. Tail dragger, though, and it takes a Georgia bounce. Durison fields it just to preserve the yardage, and he's rolled down, and Notre Dame will have the ball first down at their own 45.
Here are the stats, and look on the right side for Georgia. 79 yards total offense. Give credit to the Notre Dame defense, which has carried this team all year long. 23 quarters in the middle of the season, they did not allow a touchdown. That's nearly 6 football games before Air Force scored in the fourth quarter. Notre Dame moving the ball effectively right now. Has the momentum.
They send Holohan and Hunter double wide to the open side of the field. First down from their own 46. They're a touchdown away from the Bulldogs. And the conversion. And the ball goes to the tailback. And Phil Carter gets loose in the secondary, and he is caught and tripped up. Otherwise, he would have picked up another 10 or 12 yards. It was Dale Carver, a sophomore from Melbourne, Florida, that grabbed his shoot up.
He might have gone all the way. He had 2 blockers Carter did out in front of him when Carver came and tripped him up from behind. Carter was on his way.
He picked up 9 yards, the total 93 yards of the ball game on 23 carries.
He, too, is a very fine tailback runner. Very durable, very tough inside with his shoulder pads right over his toes, giving the defense very little room to make the tackle.
Second down and 1. Carter again. Carter goes slipping through the middle, gets it down to the 40, and it's a first down for Notre Dame at the Georgia 40. Lost his shoe. Going to have to leave. Stone will come in at tailback. Nate Taylor made the tackle on the last play.
Georgia very desperately needs with their defense to give Notre Dame a bad play.
Georgia's
somehow.
defense has got to be getting tired. They were out there virtually the whole quarter.
Notre Dame is getting, the offensive line are getting a good movement.
Stone, he splits it over the left side, and he's got big yardage. 6 of them down to the 34. That time he went behind Shiner and Ellis.
And Georgia is now substituting. They're putting some second linemen in the game, Keith. What you mentioned, they were getting tired. They've got some fresh people in the ball game.
Second down 4 from the Georgia 34. Keel. Gonna keep it. Whoa, that's a dandy little move by the Notre Dame quarterback as he juked the Georgia man. And he goes down the field for a first down for the Irish at the Georgia 28.
Tony Hunter, the wide receiver, number 85, came back and made a beautiful block, which helped Keel pick up the needed yardage for the first down. Now the Georgia first-string linemen are coming back in the ball game.
Jeff Falk, number 15, warming up there for Georgia. He's a little bigger than Buck. Jim Stone has it. He's got 2 to the 26 in this second half of play. Notre Dame has run off 10 first down. Georgia 1. In the ball game, 17 first downs against 6 in favor of the Irish.
Frank Ross, the senior linebacker and captain, is the one who directs the team, and he's also a very fine football player. His job, read the football, plug the hole, and make the tackle on Stone, number 42. Wraps him up and pulls him to the ground.
Second down 8. Carter breaks a tackle, gets close to the 20. It's going to be third down and more than 2, close to 3.
3rd and 2 has been a very critical down, even earlier going for Notre Dame. In fact, they have failed on most of their 3rd and 2 situations by running. They came out and threw in the 3rd quarter on 3rd and 2 and made the first down.
This is almost 3. Carter now 103 yards in the ball game for the Irish. By the Notre Dame tailback, Carter has his legs taken from under him by Scott Werner, and it is now 4th down.
thing that Georgia anticipated was the sweep. They had Warner coming from the corner. Notre Dame is going for the field goal.
They're going to go for the 3 in a 17-10 ball game.
This is the 4th possession of the quarter. Notre Dame of the half, and Notre Dame has moved the ball on each occasion, only getting 3 points so far. This is another 3-point opportunity.
Oliver today has kicked a 50-yarder, missed a 48-yarder, was blocked actually, and missed a 30-yarder. And here's the kick from 38 yards, and it is no good. It is no good. Oh my goodness. 10:56 to play in the game, and the Bulldogs hold. From the 21, Georgia takes over, and the Georgia faithful, who were lucky enough to get inside the dome to watch the ball game today, standing and roaring for their team. Bulldogs lead 17-10. Their offense has been nil so far in the second half. Buck Ballou yet to complete a pass today. Having trouble getting loose. A penalty flag is down. Ballou is caught back at the line of scrimmage again and dropped at the 16. Now we get another penalty flag. And I think the second one is against the Notre Dame player. I don't know what the first one was, but looked to me like Scott Zedek came in there a little bit late. And Fisher was standing there and threw a flag right on his back.
Notre Dame.
Of course, I don't know what the fellow said to Scott, you know, to get him stirred up. It is against Georgia, the first call. Unsportsmanlike conduct call goes against Notre Dame and Zedek.
And Keith, we're going to see a mark off 5 yards, I would think. Back, a penalized Georgia, and 10 yards. Isn't that one of those where they add, subtract? It should be a 10-yard penalty against Notre Dame.
Bulldogs lead 17-10. Their offense has been nil so far in the second half. Buck Ballou yet to complete a pass today. Having trouble getting loose. A penalty flag is down. Ballou is caught back at the line of scrimmage again and dropped at the 16. Now we get another penalty flag. And I think the second one is against the Notre Dame player. I don't know what the first one was, but looked to me like Scott Zedek came in there a little bit late. And Fisher was standing there and threw a flag right on his back.
Notre Dame.
Of course, I don't know what the fellow said to Scott, you know, to get him stirred up. It is against Georgia, the first call. Unsportsmanlike conduct call goes against Notre Dame and Zedek.
And Keith, we're going to see a mark off 5 yards, I would think. Back, a penalized Georgia, and 10 yards. Isn't that one of those where they add, subtract? It should be a 10-yard penalty against Notre Dame.
Well, you had a procedure call against Georgia, right?
Yes. A dead ball foul.
A dead ball foul against Notre Dame.
And they don't offset.
Turn it on, Clint. Well, his mic's not working. Personal foul against Notre Dame. Now he's marked off the 5 against Georgia. Now he's going to mark it off against Notre Dame. It's going to be a net gain of 10 yards for Georgia.
Penalties, penalties, penalties have really hurt Notre Dame along with their turnovers.
That's a motion, offense. It's a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike there, and it's a first down. First down.
All right, net 10 yards on the penalty.
That's the first time we've seen that this year.
Yes, it is. First time we've seen it in 2 years since they changed the rules.
Yes.
First time I've seen it. Georgia has not gained any yards in this whole half so far. You've got 10:39 to play in the ball game. The ball is sitting up near the 32.
Dan Devine is over trying to get the official's attention to come talk to him. He refuses to do so.
I don't know if that's a first down. They got to bring the chain out, I guess, to place it down.
Well, you'd think that
necessarily be an automatic. Yep.
If he stepped off the yards perfectly, it would be, because he would step off 5 in one direction and 10, 15 in the other would be a first down.
Maybe Clint doesn't walk even.
Most of us don't.
That is the second first down registered for Georgia in this half.
Well, that was a damaging penalty to Notre Dame's chances of pulling this game out.
From the 32 now, first down.
They get it right.
Give it to Walker. Up the middle goes Herschel. He gets it up to the 35 before he is thrown back. He's got about 3.5. The ball is in between the 31-32 as they start play. That'll give Walker 128 yards in a ball game on 26 carries. I'm not so sure if I were sitting on a 7-point lead here, I wouldn't let Herschel see a whole lot of the ball right this point, Frank.
And in particular sense, he's only fumbled one time in 300 carries, and that in the 9th game of the season.
Second down and about 6. Walker's got it again. Oh, did he take a wallop? Bob Crable hit him right on the helmet. Just helmet the helmet, and he rolled him back. Watch this hit.
Crable, as soon as he reads the play, he doesn't wait, knowing that he must plug the hole to stop Walker before he gets started. Walker is cutting back over the middle when they collision, and look at the leg drive of Bob Crable. Just a perfect tackle for the All-American middle linebacker.
He still didn't put him down, though. He did not put him down. He had to get help to get the big horse on the ground. 3rd down and 6. Again, play action pass. Blues passes away. This one is caught by no, he didn't hold it. Lindsey Scott finally got a chance to make a catch, and the ball was thrown low, and Ballou still hasn't completed a pass. He's 0 for 9.
We have a Notre Dame player that's injured on the field as we watch it again. Blue is throwing the ball to Lindsey Scott, the outstanding wide receiver. He has it, but then I guess it falls out when he hits the ground. Or did he short hop it? Okay.
Yeah, that's the combination, Scott and Ballou, that hooked up for the miracle in the Florida game. Timeout for Notre Dame's Mark Zavagnin, the left linebacker, a sophomore out of Evergreen Park, Illinois, with 9 minutes and 12 seconds to play in what has been a crazy football game. Georgia leading 17-10.
Don't find out about your auto insurance by accident.
Ducks. Forms.
Field, he's all right. Ballou beleaguered on the sidelines. 4th down for Georgia. Malkovich is in to punt. Notre Dame should get good field position. They've got 10 up on the line. They're sending him. Heats on Malkovich. Heats on the offensive line for Georgia. On the snapper. Snap is good. Pressure's on. Kick is away. Pretty good kick. Forces Krim into a fair catch. Back at his 26. So Malkovich and the offensive line for Georgia delivered. There's Mark Zavagnin. He's all right. Had his bell rung a little. A 39-yard punt. And now Notre Dame, they're going to mark it at the 27. There they'll go to work, trailing by 7 points with 9 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the ball game. Georgia trying to hang on and win its first national championship ever. The great team of Sinkwich, Trippi et al., Poshner, Davis, and that bunch, they finished second to Ohio State the year they defeated UCLA in the Rose Bowl, 9-0. Finished third another time, but have never finished number 1. They're trying to do it this year. Blair Keel on a roll. Puts his pass in the air to the sideline, and the penalty flag is thrown. They have some interference here. Let's see. Warner was defending against Hunter. It's been a pretty decent matchup all day. One time Hunter has beaten him.
I believe it's offensive interference.
It is. Also an ineligible man downfield, so take your choice.
Both of them lose. One lose 15 yards and down, the other doesn't, so I'm sure they'll take the offensive interference. Hunter tried to push off on Warner.
Holohan might have been the man that did done pushing. It's against Notre Dame. Offensive interference, and it backs the football up to the 13-yard line. Notre Dame 7 flags and 64 yards. Georgia 5 flags and 27 yards, and it's second down. They've got to go to the 38, 37 to get the first down. Keel with a strong arm goes deep for Hunter. It is intercepted. Picked off by Mike Fisher, who read the play well, came around Hunter to make the interception. And it's turnovers that are killing the Irish.
Keith, only a football coach can fully appreciate this play because the timing was perfect, meaning that Fisher stayed deep until the ball was thrown up. Watch 31 break in front of him. He kept protection deep, but when the ball was thrown front, he came in front and made the interception. A very outstanding play. He made 2 again. against Florida to save the game there.
So the man of the moment is Mike Fisher. But let's see what Ballou can do. Can he finally get the Georgia offense going? He's going deep for the corner, throwing for half final, and it's almost picked off by Tom Gibbons. Tom can't hang on to it. And it's second down. And once again, Ballou pays for having the privilege of throwing the pass.
You're going to see Arnold. He's just trying to run it out and up on Gibbons, number 27, the captain of the team. It's very hard to get deep on a safety man that's playing deep. Gibbons has it momentarily, but it falls out. But Ballou paid for it, as Keith said. Tim Marshall, number 77, the freshman, really decked him while he was throwing the ball.
Jim Evans, the back judge, was flat of his back, having fallen down, but he had his eyes on the play. Second down and 10. It's Herschel Walker. Notre Dame looking for him. They get him at the 34. Marshall and Crable. There's the man that made that big interception.
Mike Fisher was a walk-on. Transferred to Georgia as a freshman, earned the scholarship, made the team, and made one of the most critical interceptions of anybody's lifetime, possibly saving Georgia's national championship hopes.
Third down and 8. Up the middle goes Walker. Short of the first down. Brings up fourth down. Remember a fellow named Rex Robinson, number 5. He's coming out. He hit a 57-yarder against South Carolina to win the game. He hit a 57-yarder against Georgia Tech that figured in it.
Well, he's 17 for 23 for the season.
Today he made one from 46, and he missed one. This is a 48-yard field goal attempt, and it is huge. The importance of this kick is enormous. It is up high. It is long enough. It is no good. It is no good. Wide, apparently to the right. Did not hook enough for it. Notre Dame takes over, trailing by 7. From the distance, kicking from 48 yards after having made a 46-yarder in the game. He hit it plenty long, but from that right hash mark, he didn't get any hook on it, and it stayed wide to the right. And Notre Dame stops Georgia. And we've got 7:29 to play in the football game, with Georgia leading 17-10, and the football is sitting on the 31-yard line of Notre Dame.
And the Georgia defense has just swelled up and played their hearts out.
They truly have. They've been out there the whole half. The Georgia offense has just been nothing in the second half. The Irish have shut them down the sidelines. Hunter can't get to the ball. He's hollering about it. No interference. Southwest Conference official. Done a pretty good job, too, and it's been a temper-laden, tough football game.
You're going to see Hunter. He's trying, that little delay fake was to make Werner slow up, and Werner did slow up, and actually Hip came over to prevent the touchdown, number 49, and Hunter, of course, is complaining that Werner interfered with him. It was close, but it wasn't intentional.
Second down and 10 for the Irish from their own 31. Shotgun. Here, over the middle. Complete. Out to the 38 to Nick Veer, big tight end. Veer is a 246-pounder.
Let's look at the last play on Hunter with Werner, the All-American halfback, number 19. The rule says if there's no intent to impede, it looks to me like that Werner knew he was beaten on the play and tried to block him from going deep momentarily, but he got away with it.
Ball is up near the 39, third down and 2. Keel keeps it, throws it to the sideline. Incomplete. Oh, that was close. Werner covering Hunter. That's been a terrific duel out here today between those two.
I don't think I've seen as many one-on-one situations. And, of course, on that particular play, Keel changed at the line of scrimmage. He had a running play call. Hunter was covered one-on-one. He changed to the rollout pass, but Werner just got all over it.
And it is fourth down, and the Irish will have to give it up. Time now, the definite ally of Georgia. They lead by 7. Blair Keel to kick. Werner is deep. Snap is good. Kick is away. Werner circles, calls fair catch, and fields it at the 22 of Georgia. So the Bulldogs now will try to rest their defense a little bit, try to get some kind of offense going. They have the ball. Tonight on ABC at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 9:30 Pacific, Invasion, a dramatized documentary of the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia in 1968. The question, of course, is whether or not history repeats itself. What's happening in that part of the world these days? That's tonight on ABC. Buck Bellew gives the ball to Herschel Walker, and Walker is caught behind the line of scrimmage and ridden down by Bob Crable.
We're noticing Crable, and I think the reason is that he's not waiting. You watch him on the replay, he's plugging the hole. He's finding that seam. That's what he's so good at. He sees an opening seam, he takes it, and goes in and makes a tackle on Walker for a 2-yard loss.
Second down. Georgia's offense inept in the second half. Walker again trying to get to the sidelines. Pinned in over there and caught at the 20. Notre Dame defense swarming. And it's a big, powerful defense.
And Georgia is in a tough situation. Do they rely on their defense as we look at the passing? Notre Dame 132 and Georgia 0, leading 17-10. But do we look and judge what will Georgia do on 3rd down and 12 yards to go, leading for the national championship by 7 points? Will they throw or will they be conservative?
Bellew puts it up deep. Pass is incomplete. Norris Brown, the tight end, going downfield. He didn't get close to that one. The other time he saw the ball, it went through his hand. Now Georgia will have to kick it. And once again, Notre Dame is going to get the football in good field position. Bellew now is 0 for 11.
And we must say once again, the Georgia defense is going to be tested with very good field position, possibly at midfield.
5:16 to play. 2 men back, 9-man front. Now the Irish peel back, no pressure, and the kick is out. And a fair catch by Krim, and Notre Dame owns the football. First down at their own 42. Now the question, can the Georgia defense continue to hang on? Here we go. Who knows what's going through the mind of Mr. Bellew at the moment.
And Mr. Vince Dooley, the coach, with so much at stake in this ball game.
All right, Georgia defense lines up, 6-man front against Notre Dame. First down Irish, they're 42. Keel turns and hands the ball off to Carter. And Carter gets around the corner, butts head, and gets it up to nearly midfield. Tommy Thurston made the tackle.
Tony Hunter was lined up at tight end on that particular play. We remember early in the season, Hunter lined up at tight end, and the opposing team didn't catch it. He got in behind the defense for a touchdown.
Carter now with 109 yards in the ball game on 27 carries. Second down, 3 for Notre Dame at midfield. Keel keeping. Looks downfield. Caught. Dropped. Back at the 45. Eddie Weaver.
Eddie Weaver, look at him make a tremendous play. The one thing that he's got to do is get away from the blocker, and that's hard to do when he grabs a little bit of your arm. But he has the quickness, and he just keeps coming, and finally slows Keel down enough to make the play. Now, inexperience cost Notre Dame on that play. Mastek was wide open on the bootleg pass, but Trio didn't have the patience to find him and hit him.
Ross is back near the 45, and it's 3rd down and 8. Out of the shotgun. Georgia coming, pass thrown short over the middle. Pass is caught by Nick Veer, brought down by Chris Welton, but it is short of the first down. It's going to be 4th down and short. You got to figure they go for it at 3.5 minutes to play in a ball game.
Very definitely, and that was excellent execution on Keel's part. Georgia had the blitz. He was lined up in the shotgun keep where he could see the blitz. He just dropped it over the line and tied in Nick Beer.
That's the kind of pass play that we thought Georgia might bring to the ballpark against Notre Dame.
They could have used it earlier.
4th and 1 for the Irish. Keel still got it on 4th and 1. He gets his pass off. It is intercepted. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
That young man is a real winner. Not Warner.
On 4th and 1, Keel takes a deep drop under pressure, throws it up for grabs, and Warner intercepts it with 2:56 to play in the game. From the 34, Georgia's ball. Ballou on a run. Run all the way. Out of bounds, stopping the clock. Goes out at about the 40. Let's go back to that 4th down play.
You're going to see a bootlegger fake. He's going to fake to Stone 42.
Yeah, but Frank, what about the logic of the call?
The logic is unbelievably unusual. The alternative is to run harder right over the middle on 4th and 1. But Werner should not have intercepted it because it was 4th down. He forgot the down and distance because of the unusual call.
That thing was as big as the moon up there for old Scott. Net free, he had to catch it. He's a human being. He just had to come down with it. On 2nd down, they give it inside to Herschel, and the Irish stop him short of the 1st down as he roots it out to about the 41. Going to bring up 3rd down in about 2.5 or 3 as Kramer made the stop.
Someone took time. I guess it was Notre Dame.
You only have 2:42 to play in the ball game. Georgia leading 17-10.
Keith, I've never seen so many 3rd down in 2 situations.
You see that Notre Dame just shut Herschel down in the 2nd half.
Give credit to both defenses. It's been a tremendous defensive struggle by both teams. Notre Dame has forced Georgia to kick after 1, 2, 3. Georgia has hung on, given up some yardage, but not any touchdown.
But Georgia's in a good defense on that 4th and 1 play. Coming. That's right. And lo and behold, they try to loop a pass downfield.
The most unusual call because the bootleg, I must say this, the bootleg pass does not give you good pass protection on the weak side. The defensive end, on most occasions, if he's coming, is untouched, and that's exactly what happened in that game. The off guard could not pull in time to make the block.
Georgia holding on to the ball. Right here is an awful big play for them. They need about 3 yards, a little less than 3 yards. 3rd down. They can get a 1st down here. It'll be an upset in the 2nd half, for one thing. But secondly, it'll give them a chance to run off time. They've had 2 so far. Here's Ballou on a keep. He gets away. He's got the 1st down. Well, he can't throw the ball today, but suddenly Buck's trying to run it, and he does with success, and that is a big 1st down for Georgia.
Just a determined run by Ballou. Good blocking in the line. He wasn't going to throw the ball unless the receiver was wide open. Look at him. He's watching downfield, but he cuts back inside of the Bogdan and keeps the ball for the 1st down.
At the 46. Now you have 2:25 to play in the game. Walker is caught by Hankard, and they'll give his progress just about the line of scrimmage.
The muscle of Notre Dame showed up as Jimmy Womack, the fullback, tried to block Hankard out, and he couldn't move him. Hankard just came inside and made the play.
We've got a timeout on the field. Charged to Notre Dame with 2:16 to play in the game, and the Irish have 1 timeout remaining. Well, it's got to be quiet on the streets of New Orleans. It's got to be quiet in a lot of places. South Bend, Athens. It's been some kind of a football game.
Georgia's 2 minutes and 16 seconds away from their 1st national championship.
Minutes and 16 seconds as Georgia now on 2nd down and 10 give the ball to the great freshman running back Herschel Walker, and he runs out of bounds in the hands of Scott Zedek. Scott trying to stand up and hold on and keep from tumbling into the crowd. He did not, in a sense, make contact. All he did was grab Herschel trying to get some support.
And you can watch for Notre Dame trying to tackle high, hoping that they can knock the ball loose and get good field position with a chance to score and possibly win the game.
Ballou puts it in the air, throws to Arnold. Arnold comes down with it, and it's a pass completion. His first pass of the ball game is completed, and it gets him a first down.
Amp Arnold is going to push deep, and the Notre Dame back trim backs up, and he comes back to the ball. The big key, otherwise it could have been intercepted. He has to have one foot down after the completion. Very fine throw, an excellent catch, and a very critical time in the ball game.
Critical. It's like the very life's breath here for both teams, for that matter. 17-10. We've got a Notre Dame man down on the field, and we've not been able to pick up the number as yet. The clock is stopped at 2:05 to play. Let's talk about the numbers. Notre Dame, 4 turnovers. Big story, big part of the game. 191 yards rushing for the Irish, 138 passing for 329 total. Georgia, 96 yards rushing. Now the losses, the team losses, including the sacks of Buck Ballou, take away the total on Herschel Walker as John Hankard is being helped off the field. Gosh, I hope that's not a knee for John. My goodness, what a nice young man he is, and he's played a terrific football game today.
Played his heart out on every down. Just a high level of performance for this young man for 3 years that he started at that left end position.
But the losses by Ballou of 49 reduced the total net yardage on the ground for Georgia to 96. They've only gained 7 yards in passing, and it was on that last pass completion, and how big it was. It got him a first down. 4 more snaps of the ball. The clock running now at 1:55 to play in the game, and a penalty flag flutters into the air as the play goes inside to Walker. Let's see about the penalty.
While they're deciding, I should mention that under the rules in college football, the clock continues to run after the official steps off the penalty. Here it is.
Here it is.
Offside!
Another mistake for the Irish. It'll cost them 5. The clock right now is stationary at 1:49 to play in the game. That's 8 flags and 69 yards against Notre Dame. The football is sitting at the Notre Dame 38. Georgia just may be able to sit on it, Frank.
Keith, it takes you can use 4 downs and it takes about 2 minutes.
Well, Notre Dame only has one timeout remaining. Here's Herschel Walker running all over the field. He just sticks his head down and burrows right into the 3 Notre Damers, but they tumble him out of bounds inside the 30. And that's going to be another first down as Rick Naylor and Dave Durison came across to get him. Walker now with 145 yards on 35 carries, and Georgia has 4 more snaps of the ball as Herschel Walker turned it upfield. 1:28 to play in the game.
Keith, have you ever seen a freshman have such good poise to know that he had apparently nothing on the side of the blocking? Turn back and make the first down.
Never. Well, I say never.
Well, we haven't seen one this fast and big before, I promise you. I never have.
No, nor have I. First down. Just inside the 30, and it's Walker again. Getting some blocking in front. Gets to the outside. Goes down at the 25. Got the better part of 5 yards on that carry, and he stays inbound. And you've got 1:15 to play in the ball game. Ronnie Stewart going out onto the field. Jimmy Womack does not want to come out. Jimmy's coming. It's his birthday.
And he's played a terrific game. And the fullbacks, as we've said many, many times, have to take great pride to be the blocker in the I formation.
Walker is coming out, and Carney Norris goes in at tailback. Walker comes out. 36 carries, 150 yards, 50 seconds to play in the game. Georgia students and Georgia partisans moving down to the sideline. 40 seconds to play in the ball game. Georgia has never finished a season ranked number 1. And now time is called.
Keith, I want to just congratulate, hoping that it turns turns out is it looks like it is Vince Dooley, who's a credit to the coaching profession, highly respected and admired by everybody in the game.
They mark off the 5-yard delay of game penalty against Georgia. The crowd is swarming down onto the edge of the field. Realize Georgia has been playing football since before the start of the century. Been a lot of Notre Damers figure in their football history. Guys like Mayer and Layton,
Jim Crowley, all coached at Georgia.
all coached there. Pop Warner coached there. Produced Georgia's first undefeated team. Over the years, Wally Butts and the great seasons that he had. Georgia running out the clock, 35 seconds, just 35 ticks away. And the Georgia Bulldogs figure to finish #1 in the polls because they'll be the only team in the country that won all 12 of their games. I'm sure that Jackie Sherrill and his Pitt Panthers, Notre Dame spends its last time out with 33 seconds to play. I'm sure Jackie Sherrill and his Pitt Panthers feel they are as good as anybody in the country. But they lost a football game at Florida State, 36-22. Florida State, I'm sure, feels they are as good as anybody in the country. But they lost a football game to Miami by a single point. And they must play Oklahoma tonight in the Orange Bowl. Michigan with a tremendous finish toward the end of the season. But they lost 2 football games.
Keith, I think what you're saying is that there are a lot of fine football teams in this country, and many of them are practically equal, and in any occasion could win the national championship.
Herschel Walker has been named the MVP of the Sugar Bowl. 150 yards on 36 carries and 2 touchdowns.
There was a picture of Dan Devine, and I want to say, and I've said it before, Dan Devine is a great football coach. He has always handled himself and his team with dignity, with grace, and with style. We'll miss him in the coaching profession, and I hope that he comes back after a year.
It is 3rd down and about 11 for Georgia after the penalty. Ballou rolls it out. He just wants to run around and kill the clock. He's going to run as long as he can, keeping in the field of play. Notre Dame with no more timeouts remaining. We're now inside 25 seconds, and Georgia can stand there and exult as the time ticks away.
And a team won the national championship without making mistakes, Keith. That's what you talked about. They did make mistakes, and Notre Dame did.
The crowd, almost uncontrollable, comes storming onto the field to surround both teams. The game is over. Georgia has won 17-10. History, all of those things. You'd have to say this is something of an upset. But it happened in the first half as Georgia cashed in on 2 Notre Dame mistakes. One on the kickoff, one on the fumble to get the 2 touchdowns. The 46-yard field goal by Rex Robinson. In the second half, Notre Dame totally dominated the football game. But the Georgia defense, a bunch of kids with as much gizzard as I have ever seen, just hung on to the last fingernail. And finally, won it 17-10.
Keith, you expressed it beautifully. The Georgia defense, they live with that yardage inside, but they somehow come up with a big play. Enough to stop the opponents before they get to that goal line. What a thrill it is for these people from Georgia. Look at them out on the field. Celebrating something that every person that coaches football or plays football or follows college football wants: a national championship. Keith, I'm thrilled for them.
But I will say this too, how many times that school right there at the top of that picture, Notre Dame, has figured in championship games. They came here first to the Sugar Bowl. They beat Alabama. Sarah Parsegian gambled with Clements throwing out of the end zone and won 24-23. Today, a lot of people thought they would win here. They had really no chance at a national championship. But the thing I am sure that makes this a bigger thing for the folks who support the Georgia Bulldogs is the fact that they beat Notre Dame. I mean, that's a mark of pride right there.
Yes, with Notre Dame 4 times in the 70s, won in the game that meant the national championship or took the game championship away from the opponent. To beat Notre Dame for the national championship will always be remembered by every Georgia fan. And they are soaking up the glory right now.
You betcha. We will stay for the presentation of the team award and the most valuable player award.
I believe that's a sea of red, the most I've ever seen out on the field.
Well, you've been involved in a few seas of red, haven't you?
Oh, I tell you what, it looks like when Moses walked out there and parted the waves so that Georgia could win. But Georgia has been a Cinderella team, and that's what it takes in the game of football today. You can't win 12 football games, as you said earlier in the telecast, without a lot of luck. Georgia had it, but when they had to have the guts and determination,